Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Monaco. We are doing the commentary of the FIDE Candidates Tournament, Women's Candidates Tournament, and I am joined by Grandmaster Alojzije Janković.
Hey, hello guys, hello Almira.
So, well,
looking forward to today's game.
I'm here since the beginning of the tournament, so yours truly, Almira Skripchenko. I'm so glad that this tournament is, well, very exciting, and I think it fulfilled its promise, this new format.
Yes, exactly. Listen, this first game for a starting of the second match was, for me, like some kind of show that it showed that maybe we can expect like a really interesting games. So today, I'm really looking forward to a great game.
As you can see today, I finally managed to have our official T-shirt with the same logo. This is our official form for the competitions when we're playing for our club, Cercle d'Échecs de Monte Carlo, and this is where our studios are set.
Hey, yes, exactly.
Who is Anna is already in the playing hall, so she came before her opponent. So Anna Muzichuk is playing against Lei Tinji. Both of them won their quarterfinals matches, and the Chinese player just arrived. Actually, you know, during the previous candidates tournament in Yekaterinburg, there was always question about chairs. Did the players choose their chairs here?
Yes, okay. That was when one tournament players could choose by themselves the type, and it was interesting to see. Some players would like to have like at least Congress classical type of chair. Some of them would like to have a little bit more soft. So it's quite interesting. It would be interesting to see what would Bobby Fischer choose which one.
Well, then we have to go back to 1972, you know, and then to supervise all the lights.
With conspiracy theories as well, yeah.
So
the game is about to start. I have a feeling that both players are actually not showing that they are quite relaxed somehow. I don't know. I was expecting that they would be a little bit more. I would say not.
Tension?
Yes, not so confident. But anyway, it looks that they are quite relaxed.
Well, a few seconds ago, you had the results on your screen. Lei Tinji drew. She drew against Anna Muzichuk her first game. She was having black faces. She didn't have any troubles in this game, I think, and even after the opening phase, she tried to press.
Yes, this is what we mentioned yesterday. If you watch that game with computers, just briefly after the game, for a few minutes, that engines would immediately say it was nothing special, like very close to a draw all the time. But as we were here sitting for hours, okay, Anna needed to make some really tough decisions. It was unpleasant, and I was watching carefully a live comment later with Andrea and Tenji. She was saying that, okay, at the last moment she didn't want to play knight d5 because anyway it's a draw. I have a feeling that she was not so happy. She could have moved on. With knight d5 it would be 2 against 1. So.
Okay, and today we have two personalities who will make the symbolic first move for Lei Tinji. On your right, you have Cédric Bisquet, the author of the manga The Blitz. Actually, they have a lot of volumes already, and it's the manga about chess. And you also have Mr. Stéphane Lamotte, who is the General Secretary of the committee which organizes a lot of events this year which pay tribute to the Prince Albert Premier, so Albert I. And on this occasion, actually earlier this year, we organized an event where Prince Albert II he came, yes, and he, we even had the chance to talk to him. He played the symbolic first move. He made the symbolic first move in the simultaneous exhibition, which was given by Pierre Kramnik and myself, and on each board, not only on the first board. And for kids, this was such a unique experience.
And does he play chess, or?
Yes, he does. We discussed it a little bit. They have this family tradition, so I hope that his children will pick up on the game. So maybe they will play.
Oh, of course. This is okay. Chess was a part of like a history in Monaco, so it's not so strange. Tinji is showing.
D4 or E4? I can't. d4, yes.
d4.
She can play e4 and d4. This is also very complicated for Anna because she needs to prepare, of course, for both moves. But is it a bluff?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this move will just stay on the board. Frankly speaking, these days, when you're black against d4, it's a little bit harder because on e4, the game is taking more direct causes. Here, we are having another move.
Yes, once again.
Okay, d4.
And then Alojzije will play e4.
Yeah, we will see, but d4 somehow will probably stay on the board.
Well, we want to remind our viewers, of course, that Alojzije beat Anna's sister in her first match. So it's, well, she has to beat the whole family in order to qualify for the finals.
This is actually maybe some trivia, I don't know, in the Guinness record books that you need to beat first one sister in the match and then the next match other sister. It's not so common, right?
And, well, Maria has chosen in her games against Alojzije twice the Slav defense. So Anna deviates, and she was playing d4, d5 against Hampikonero. So is she going for the classical Nimtsevich, or will be Nimtso-Indian with... Oh, so she's going for the Grünfeld.
Grünfeld, yes. Okay. As I mentioned yesterday, Garry Kasparov lost his second match of the World Championship match with Grünfeld against Kramnik in London, and never later played Grünfeld in that match. So again, second game of the match, we will see, will this be like a same coincidence? Of course, Anna believes in her repertoire. Okay, she's young enough to have a superb memory, which is very, very important when you play Grünfeld. So many lines. I was actually playing with white something like 10 or 15 lines with white. Because Grünfeld actually is very, very solid. It's not easy to do anything with white, but the idea is with white to, you know, shoot and run. You just try some line, then next game you try something else, and trying to catch black somewhere where he or she is not that day so well prepared. So
the Grünfeld defense has been Anna's main weapon during the recent years. It's very interesting for me to see which variation Alojzije will choose today.
So from my experience, white is choosing the variation, and black is choosing the line. So black can play different ways usually. So white is choosing either he will or she will take on d5 without taking on the exchange on d5. Now maybe queen a4 or whatever. When black is choosing how to react, usually this is the here black will play normally. This is not an issue. But later, as I said, it's possible to play a really different way. We can maybe name a few Grünfeld specialists, like Swidler, like MBL, exactly. He's now the top one for sure. Caruana was playing Grünfeld a lot before. Also, Emil Sutovsky before was one of specialists. All those Israeli grandmasters like Boris Avrukh, Michalevsky, they were all playing Grünfeld. So this is like their pet opening. Boris Gelfand as well. So Grünfeld is very suitable opening because immediately you are heading for a direct play. But as I mentioned, white has so many ways how to check what is black up to. I was doing this line with white. Actually, that's what I wanted to ask you, because I have looked in the database. So Alojzije was always going for queen a4 instead of bishop b3. She never played this line. And another curious fact, yes, here... So you are saying here queen a4. Yes, queen a4. Yeah, it's possible to play it either in combination, so queen a4 before taking on d5, or it's here in the opening, or it's possible to play it. Now, this is very topical. And now, as I mentioned, it's possible to play queen d7, knight d7, also so many moves, even bishop d7, even c6 is playable. Yes. So black is choosing how to react. White is choosing the variation, black is choosing the line. Or we can say line is white choosing, black is choosing just reaction. But okay, so this was here, bishop a3 is next to bishop c4 as the main line. So these are the two main lines, bishop c4 and bishop e3.
And actually, another curious fact from Anna's games is that Anna has never played against this move before. So this is a very interesting choice.
Yes, but she's for sure well prepared because this is the, as I said, this is the main line. Now, okay, we will see. Now, this was actually very popular. Yes, very popular variation in Kramnik's hand. He was playing so many setups by postponing knight f3, by playing rook b1, rook c1, heading for those endgames where Swidler was always suffering against Kramnik, queen a5, queen d2 at some stage, and then cd4. There is one funny line. I remember when, for example, queen a5, let's say queen d2, let's say castles, rook b1.
We can castle, also play knight c6. There are so many possibilities. Then
yes, and this is famous. CD, CD, knight c6, and now fantastic idea, which actually happened in one Grandmaster game. This is this brilliant move d5 to have a better version of the endgame, except this doesn't work
bishop c3.
to bishop c3. Actually, this was played in, I think, few games. One of my colleagues has suffered with this threat, and it was funny when I was analyzing this line with Grandmaster Kozul, former European champion, and one of the best Croatian players. 2-3 times in the blitz analysis, he was offering me this d5 move, and then we were smiling a lot. Come on, don't do it any longer. Yeah. So
they simply transpose to one of the main lines, but now I have a few.
They played it. This was played actually.
So Anna.
Not yet.
No,
not
no.
Yet,
Anna
yet.
used queen a5 almost all the time. So queen a5 here was her main move, and she's making it once again.
Yeah, okay.
She sticks to her guns. So let's see what will be Lei's choice in this position.
Okay, there are so many lines here. Even knight d2 was played in Avruk's games, and who else was playing that line? So it's.
You can play queen d2, knight d2.
Knight d2 was a popular way how to trick Rapport play that line. So we will see which one. Queen d2 is the most common, and frankly speaking, I spent so many days analyzing this line, and of course I cannot remember now so easily, but this was one of the most challenging lines. Actually, this was analyzed in Avruk's books, in also so many magazines, new articles. This was like really topical.
Okay, this is actually now new for Anna. Of course, she is aware of this move because this is a highly theoretical position, but her opponents were playing bishop d2 or knight d2, so now she will have to show her preparation in the main line, and she went for knight c6.
Yeah, as I told you, these endgames, which are arising after queen d2 exchange, this is something Kramnik was so skillful that he was really brilliant in this type of endgames. Is white heading for an endgame? I don't know. It's possible to play differently.
But for example, here
before it was castle and rook d1 was one of the lines. You know, for example, like here. So this was one of the line castles. Let's say rook c1, then rook d8. d5, e6, and then this bishop g5 stuff and so on. This was very popular, and then it was rook d7, rook f6, rook e8. This was like a really famous line. I forgot one player who played this line as well, was Nepo. He was also doing this opening a lot.
Alojzije, now that I've seen quite a few games, I've seen this very strange maneuver after, okay, and now the move is on the board, rook b1, a6, and only then rook c1.
Yes, she wanted to say that in the endgame now, when we exchange the queens, that you will suffer with this weakness. So this is actually the point. CD, CD, when we exchange the queens, I'm playing this endgame saying that later for you would be very hard to play b6 because a pawn has moved. So this is basically the point. And these are those small details, small nuances which are on Grandmaster level are very common.
So she goes for this same variation,
Yes.
which has a very interesting positional idea.
Probably now exchanging on d4 and heading for an endgame might not be a best option. So I would probably expect that Anna will now play some middle game with queens on the board. Let's see.
But if you take, let's say, c takes
Probably
d4,
it's possible,
c
yes.
takes d4,
Okay.
queen
C,
d2,
D, C, D, queen D, king
you're forced
takes.
to take with
Yes,
a king,
exactly.
of course, and e6 here.
E6, possibly, but you know there are several games. Like for example, Zagreb Grand Prix. It was a regular tempo. Magnus beat, I think, MVL quite easily in this type of structure. E6 was played, and then H4 usually is a key move in this type of positions. This is what I'm saying to, let's say, viewers who are not maybe so familiar or not on a level. Let's give them a tip. What is the point? When you have a fianchetto, you are having this knight, which you need to move at some stage to give an heir for your bishop. In Greenfield, it's immediately jumping and exchanging. But what is the minus of that? The minus of that is that after h4, you are clearly missing this knight to cover this h5 square. So usually in Greenfield, always this h4, which was actually used by engines very often recently in Stockfish and all those matches. So h4 is something which is hard to deal, because if you allow h5, okay, h6 is just very close. Taking it means that you will ruin the structure. Like there was one saying that then you are getting then pawn islands. Islands is good if you are Minister of Tourism of Greece, but if you are a chess player, then having so many islands might not be a wise idea. Yeah.
But then, for example, h4, h6.
Yes,
yeah?
it's possible.
How
But
do
then
you
h4,
continue?
then usually goes h5, provoking g5, and then heading for some kind of later e5 stuff. Even this type of positions might be unpleasant.
But here you give the d5
Yes,
square.
and now this is like a eternal fight. I give you d5 square, but I'm trying to place my knight on g4 and then putting pressure on the other side, and at some point I exchange this. I give this bishop for your knight on d5 and trying to play on dark squares. Look, there are several really brilliant players with white in Greenfield. So she went for it.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. This is not something I was expecting, but okay. Several fantastic Greenfield players with white. Not top players, but for example, Korobov. With white, he was at one stage playing maybe the best anti-Greenfield player with white.
But Korobov is insanely strong.
Yes, okay, but he's not top 10, top 20, but the guy who I think even top 10 players are not happy when they play with black, let's say Greenfield, that's some kind of initiative position. So she's heading for your line, okay. So you predicted well, good.
But
White, black is placing all the pawns on the light squares.
Now here what I wanted to say that I like your move h4, but I was also asking myself the question that we need to develop this bishop, so you want to postpone it, or maybe we can play bishop d3.
Yes, this is also typical. Bishop d3, only thing is later when the rook comes to d8 at some stage that maybe you are cutting the defense. Sometimes even king goes in some lines to c3, but not in this one. So the only question is, will we see that white will play e5, and that way stopping this black initiative when the rook comes to d8, and black puts all the pressure here. So will white react with e5 or keep the flexibility? This is something I would like to get the answer here. So e5 is the reaction, how you are stopping this activity, but also then you are losing this flexibility, which is. But e5 is typical in this type of.
Yes, I like this plan because the bishop on g7 is extremely powerful, especially in this line. So e5 is very often a strategic decision because you need to close this bishop. This not only to get the squares.
Yeah, this is a typical structure for example, a semi-terrace, when white is playing with queens and then pushing d5 and some stage after e5 playing this e5 sacrifice. But here we are missing queens. So if d5, and it's not easy to break through with d5 and with this passer to get some advantage. If this d5 doesn't work, then what to do? You are heading for e5. On queen side, there is not much to do for white. So white can play either on king side or try to somehow break through in the center.
But on the other hand, let's say you play h4, I will castle. You don't have time to play h5, or do you? Here.
Okay, you go rook d8.
Rook
Probably
d8.
I don't. Probably I don't. But you know, there is also this defense, rook c4, but this sometimes leads to some kind of perpetual, I don't know. But this is also a possibility. I don't know.
But can I take and play e5?
Maybe you can.
Does it
but
work
then again, I take, then I allow you, maybe there is a pawn sacrifice, this type of position. Take, you take,
here.
or...
No, I want to play e5.
Maybe I can sacrifice, and then rook c7. I don't know if I take on g6 or h6 first. It's not clear. Okay, maybe I cannot sacrifice. I'm not sure. But bishop comes to c4. It's hard to say. For example, if I go down, you take. I go bishop c4 or hg first. I don't know.
But
bishop d7, because I will have this knight g5. Is this something or not? I don't know. Might be unpleasant.
Knight g5 as well.
Might be unpleasant.
Maybe I should play rook d7, because if you take, then I will have bishop e8 at the end. What do you think?
Okay, rook d7 is better move, probably.
After bishop c4.
Yeah.
Yes, let's try rook d7. We're trying to understand the difference. This way, so if you take, you play knight g5, I will have bishop e8.
Yes, this was good defense, right, you're right. Still there is some initiative. Take, and then bishop d5, attacking on b1, on b7, but you play bishop f6. Probably here I would say that some initiative disappeared. Okay, so this was like just one reaction. I don't know if there is another reaction.
But rook c4 is a very unusual move.
Yes.
Such moves, you know, we are not looking for them spontaneously. Of course, we will find it because there's probably no other way to defend the pawn. But you should know this. This is a very typical move.
Yes,
then.
but also there are this type of moves. I sacrifice a pawn.
Yes.
And then you take everything I take, and then I'm trying to play on dark squares in some stage.
King e3.
So king e3 first, maybe, or let's say king e3 first. You go with the rook probably back.
Rook d8, let's say.
Rook d8.
You want to play e5.
E5 I was thinking, and then bishop, but maybe rook c7 is first better option. This is sometimes also can be like an initiative. Here, maybe a6. a7, b6 would be more useful.
Actually, I like this position very much because it's not easy for black to develop the bishop here. Maybe e5 here.
Yes, maybe, but then again...
Bishop c4, yes. And then...
Then again you are... Okay, still, maybe it's like a drawing margin, but maybe, again, we will have similar game like yesterday. Everything looks very close to draw, but still, this activity is in white's favor.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like an option. Maybe Anna is aware of this stuff, so maybe she's ready for that anyway. So she knows how to handle this. But we will see. These are the options.
But then let's try bishop d3 first, castle.
Yes.
To postpone.
Yeah, h4 of course I can postpone.
We can always have it. It's in our arsenal, I think. So Here, do we have something else?
Okay, I can move my king. I can move my king and then play this rook c4 stuff. I can play rook c4 immediately. But h4 is... Listen, I can now maybe regroup and place my pieces to hold the center. But if I want to achieve something, the only way is h4. You can even check the game. Just Carlsen MVL. It was similar game, and also Kramnik Swidler.
Well, exactly in this position.
Maybe not in this position.
I have, let's say...
But let's say from the beginning, queen d2, just...
No, but even here I have
h4
a few...
they're playing, and e5, I see that Dingley Rand was playing, right?
He was playing bishop d3, rook d8, rook c4, bishop d7 with h4, and he waited for the bishop to be on d7, and only then he tried h5, and he won a very nice move.
Yes, and e5 I think probably was later. Yes, that's it. This is the concept.
Okay, let's show it.
Yes, so it started with the
he went for h4 actually.
Before bishop d3, right? So h4 was the move. Okay,
just the transposition is castle.
So let's say castles, bishop d3, right?
Rook d8.
Yes.
His opponent didn't go for after rook c4
yes,
for
so
this.
Taking on the no.
Here it's not possible.
Yeah, here it's not possible.
So he went bishop d7 because it seems like a very natural square.
Okay.
Now to develop the bishop. Ding went for h5.
Yes.
Let's say you have to be active to do something. Black played b5, rook c1.
Okay.
Bishop e8 to protect everything, and here he played e5.
Yeah. Unpleasant position from my point of view.
But
what was the result in the end? Okay, it was some blitz game, I guess. No.
No, it was a rapid game, but it was, I think, a very clear win on Ding's behalf, and he knows these positions very well. So he gradually increased his... He has a slight edge here. What to do? How do you continue for black? Knight b4, knight d5?
Black needs to, at some stage, need to exchange both pair of rooks. So I would head in that direction, but I don't know, because now my rook on d8 is not doing much.
But you know, here, now that I had a more deep look at this position, you can take on g6, double your rooks on, if you don't do anything, and then play bishop g5,
this
bishop
is also
h6.
possible. There was one Kramnik game, as I mentioned, against Swidler, which ended up in that way. It's not easy to search this position because there are so many transpositions. But in general, this is a typical thing where I would give advice for some young players who are maybe watching this broadcast. Here it's a little bit useless, pointless to analyze move by move. If you miss one game, sometimes you miss transposition, sometimes you miss a concept. So I would suggest, if someone wants to play, to study this position, to check every Kramnik's game in this structure. Is possible to search it also by structure and by material. Carlsen's game, MVL game, how he's equalizing or how is he having problems in this type of position, and then you will get concepts. And then move by move. But here it's, you see, I was actually not familiar with the exact theory, theory, but okay, these are the concepts. There is queen a5 on game, Kramnik against Wheeler.
Find it, yes. Maybe.
Just it was one win. I think it was like a Russian championship or something like that. And even in Vaikanze, I think they played.
Yes, I have this one, but okay, let's see. Is this? No, this is.
This is a Okay.
Dortmund final. So Kramnik won it, yes.
Kramnik won with just with white, yes, and it was also this Vaikanze. No, this was so it's 981. This Moscow. Well, how about this? What was here? Yes, this was the line. No, this was active.
It's a bit different, yes.
So it must be the same.
Because I was trying to use the filter, but it doesn't recognize the position. Here, okay, I have it.
Yeah, there are several, even in candidates, several games where he won it.
But this is also different.
No, different, but queens can change. Yeah, Now we will need to dig a little bit deeper,
Okay.
but okay,
I will
don't,
use it.
yeah, we can check it later.
So late G is still thinking. Let's have a look at the tournament tree. So who is actually participating in the whole tournament, not only in the pool A. So
Okay,
we have like the group A. We also have the group B, which will start later this month.
Let's check it.
So here it is.
Okay,
Alojzije,
you mentioned yesterday that there are some chances that two Chinese players.
Actually, no. Actually, we were asking ourselves the question with Igor because there is a chance for two Chinese players to meet in the finals.
How big are
Actually, today I remembered it and I calculated it because as you can see at the beginning of the tournament, let's say at the beginning, now that we know that Lei Qingji is in the semifinals.
But from the beginning, how was it?
From the beginning, actually, you have two ways to resolve this problem, and I think the most elegant solution and the most visual one is that you have 8 participants, but you have 16 combinations of who is coming to the final, and since like the two Chinese is only one, two Chinese players is only one combination, so it's 1/16. So from 100%, the actual chance for them to meet in the final before the beginning of the tournament is only 625%. Now, of course, we know that Lei Qingji is in the semifinals of our group. It increases to 12.5. You know, it's not big.
Yeah, it's not big at all. Yeah, you're right.
So in the second group, we have Alexandra Goryachkina, which will face Alexandra Kostyniuk and Katerina Lagno and Tan Zongyi. And of course, you know the players of our group already. What I wanted to mention is actually I was so surprised that I had a look at the previous candidates tournament, which was the tournament. And do you know how many players of this tournament are the same in this event? It's like there are only 8 players, and the 6 players are exactly the same. So you have only 2 new players, and they are Lei Qingji and Hampi Konero. What does it say about the level of these players, about their stability?
Yeah, this is something I was mentioning before a lot of time. This is the main difference between, let's say, chess and some other sports, because we have only 16 recognized champions. Okay, of course, we have FIDE champions, which are, of course, praisable, but let's say from some classical point of view, from 1886. And also, during the last, like you mentioned, this last candidate tournament, and here, so the best players are basically the best. In other sports, somehow you have some chance maybe that some players become world champion and then next championship he is completely out of the top. In chess, usually people who are on top deserve to be. So you can see in different formats, best players, even now in Fischer Random, it's best players are best players. So it same goes probably also in other groups and other competitions. So this is, for me, this is something really we as a chess, this is a huge legacy. The best players are clearly the best, without a doubt.
So it means that they're above the field, they're so strong, or we are lacking also the younger generation to replace them, or it needs so much time for them to qualify to...
Yes, we can have young players like during Olympia, this good cash performance, in some other events, that we can have some young players who can maybe show to the elite that they are quite capable to win the game, to get a good result. But to enter top 10, you can see still Vichy is close to top 10, and he was top 10 a few lists before. So basically, it's not changing much. So it reminds me a bit like tennis, like at some stage, like this Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. They were not allowing younger just to take the titles so quickly. So of course, we are looking forward to new generation. Clearly, there are some great talents, but as you mentioned, some players are really good, even if maybe they are already for a long in the top competition. For example, Goryachkina-Kostyniuk match. Goryachkina is of course like a new star, but still Kostyniuk is doing very good. Yeah, yes, after so many years, right?
And we forget that, you know, Alexandra Goryachkina, now that I was thinking, you know, well, she's the youngest player in the event, and she's the winner of the last candidate. So it's, well, It's a combination of factors, of course, but I think it's even more true in women's chess that the top players, as you said, Alexandra Kostyuk, she won the World Cup last year.
Yes,
Phenomenal
fantastic.
result.
Yes. After so many years,
they show such stability when they participate in the tournaments and they prepare. They have tremendous preparation, hours and hours spent during the training sessions. So they have this discipline as well.
Yeah, this is typical also for chess. That chess, of course, you can play when you are young. You're putting a lot of effort. You're having like a good openings. You are working hard. But chess is also possible to play when you are experienced. And then you are avoiding preparation, heading for some lines, finding like a suitable style, regime during the events, and so on. So you can find some energy even you are a little bit like older than
experience.
Yes. So this is but actually this is what I would like to see. I would like that young generation, that they still have problems with older generation, and then they will deserve, like Carson when he made this breakthrough. Then of course he was the best at that time.
So what happened? I think that we have.
Okay, let's see what is going on here. So
she went for the same line that we analyzed, bishop d3.
Yes, so she's clearly well prepared. Anna is thinking as well. Listen, there is one thing. You are coming to the board. You are black. You are preparing so many stuff because white can do this, that, and that. Okay, so Anna is not now unhappy because now there are not so many surprises. The already structure is defined a bit, no queens on the board, so she knows now that she just needs to be on the level to find the way, because for sure position is sound. But on the other hand, you need to prove it by good moves.
This is actually a very funny fact. I had a look at the position with the reverse colors, and I've seen that Jing Lijian actually played it with black as well. So it helps, of course, to understand the position, what are you trying to avoid. But is there anything else than bishop d7 here? You need to develop this bishop somehow.
Only thing is that you mentioned this is your move, this h6. You have mentioned that maybe on h5 to react with g5, but as I told you, this is long term, it can be a problem, because then you are losing this flexibility later, and these weaknesses might tell later. I don't know.
Well, sometimes
it's a possibility. It's a possibility for sure.
Well, it was more natural to me because in Piot's defense, I'm always faced with this h4, and I'm always in trouble, so I never know how to react. You have to be very flexible. So h4, h6 is a very typical reaction in the Piot's defense, but I was not sure if it is a sound idea here. But let's say h4, h6, maybe you should not force things with h5. What do you think?
H5, then the problem, this g5 square, now, okay.
No, I meant in the, sorry. This, of course, is a very good move. H6 here and not H5
instead of, okay, this is another option, just to take some space later with g4, king e2, g4, maybe even g5 at some stage to get even more space, but.
Because what I don't like about h5, g5, then similar ideas, that you will have g4 and the g4 pawn is becoming very vulnerable. So you
must play, I must
then
play
you must
e5.
Play e5, and do you want to do it here? Then I have this knight e7, knight e5, knight g5.
Yes. Okay, usually I'm playing this line in white.
So how would you continue here?
And then I'm not so afraid of giving this square outpost for your knight if I'm getting something else for return. But I understand your point. Of course, it's much easier to play when you have a nice outpost in the center for your piece. Listen, we will see what's going on. I would say it's balanced, but with so many possibilities, and also what can trick you if you prepare for the game, and then engines is always giving you an equal position. But when you start playing, and then when you see several possibilities, so sometimes you don't spend so much time in these type of positions because engine says, okay, it's perfectly fine for you, you are okay, and then actually this is now the key how the strong players, even Magnus and some other, are choosing some lines which might be underestimated by the players because engines say it's equal, and it looks very good, actually normal for black, but so many possibilities. Yeah, I would like to see. I don't know how is Tingy in terms of this strategic positional stuff, because I have a feeling that she's quite good in tactics. So this now you need to be very skillful. But yesterday, okay, she was pressing without the queen, so she has quality also in that type of the games.
Alojzije, you know, I have one more interesting fact for you. Anna Muzichuk is still thinking, so let's have a graphic which was prepared by our team of their head-to-head score, and tell me what you find surprising there.
Okay, let's see.
We will see.
So classical, okay, rapid.
So what do you see in classical?
I see classical, yes. What is this? One draw, right?
Yes, and that draw was yesterday.
Yesterday, no games, so they are not familiar with the style, because different when you sense the player over the board. Sometimes, you know what was for me a huge experience when I played against strong players. For example, you play some prophylactic move to stop your opponent move, and he plays precisely that move. And then this has a huge psychological effect on you as well. So you're feeling this energy and so on. There are some players who are pressing also the board. So you cannot sense this if you're not playing against the opponent. So one rapid.
So actually, their first encounter in a classical game happened yesterday. Isn't it incredible?
Yes, okay. This is a bit strange. I agree. So in one blitz, one rapid.
So
doesn't mean much.
Of course. So
yes. So they are still in the process of testing the opponent.
Testing the waters. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
But I was going through their games before the match, and I just couldn't find any classical games. And I was thinking, this is not possible, you know. I've looked it all through, so I updated it. It was still the same.
Yeah, this is also typical. For example, in some country, you're playing like a national championships and so on, and then you're having like in the leagues or whatever, in the clubs, and you're having like 40 games with one player, and with another player you have 5. Or with one player you're always black. This is sometimes really, some coincidences can happen, yeah.
But by the way, Croatian championships are very, very strong. Is there a player against whom that you played one of the biggest number of games in your life?
Yeah, okay, I was playing against Šarić. I played a lot of time against Šarić as our best player. Somehow I played this match I mentioned yesterday. I played in the leagues and championship. Actually, I was playing Croatian championship, which was quite strong, like a round robin with 12 players. I was playing this for like 15 years, and always he was already as a young, he was world junior champion under 18, so he already participated when he was young in some events. He's maybe on +1 against me, maybe +2, maybe it's equal, but I don't want to be rude and then say there was one book when the guy said that he's having positive score against some players, like top players, and then you check how old was that opponent. At that time he was 10 years old. So I don't want to count some games when Ivan was like 14 years old. Yeah, so, but in general I had some good experience with him on the matches and games. There are some players I never beat. For example, Bojan Kurajca, he was world junior champion, and what is very interesting, he's 73 or 74, and his rating is still about 2,500. And he's playing normal tournaments, open leagues, and playing fighting chess Sicilians. I never beat him. and basically I think that's it from Croatian player.
But how many is too many? Because I would imagine, you know, especially the top players which are playing regularly in these elite events, you know, they would sit down in front of their opponents and say, "Oh, you again," you know.
Yeah, I think at some stage it was like Anand against Kramnik or what, it was like 200, or not 200, but maybe with rapid and everything, maybe more than 200 games and so on. Yeah, I understand this.
Maybe
this
we
is-
should have like half of the field, you know, which consists of the elite players, and then half of the field, like they're trying to do in like Kanzi.
Yes, that's why World Cups are so interesting, because then you have this mix of different type of players, not just the same faces all the time. And actually, this is something now tournament organizers are trying to achieve, that mix, because of course when you're playing like 40 games with always the same opponent, ideas, concepts are already tried, so it's not easy to get some new idea. So this is also a value for this match, as you mentioned, because they are quite fresh in terms of preparations. They are just facing each other for the first time. So this is useful, because then when you already tried some openings, you know the player, then it's much harder to surprise him.
Then another question, for example, this could also play a very important role in this new format, because you have matches. Some of the players you have a very nice score against, but some potential opponents could be your nemesis, you know, and you. So
yeah, there are several. I think Shiro against Kasparov is having a horrible score. Svidler against Kramnik, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, there are some players. Somehow they couldn't play on the level. Of course, fantastic players, brilliant players, but somehow they couldn't play. Usually it goes, maybe you lose first game, maybe with some luck, you are unlucky. Then second game you maybe overpressed, and suddenly you are in some psychological crisis, and then your opponent is having a huge self-confidence. That was actually, I was gaming with Brkic. He's our second best player. So Šarić is 26-70, European champion 2018, 2022. This year he took a bronze. He's actually leading one and a half against half with Magnus. Of course, okay, in the rapid, they played rapid and so on. So somehow he's playing well with Magnus. And this is actually, I was playing with Brkic. He was already a very strong 2600 player, but somehow with me he was playing completely below his level, and then you get this energy and confidence, and of course it's much easier to play.
So it's actually very good for the players that they haven't met each other.
Yes, that's what
before,
I'm saying, because
course.
then we are having like an equal game. No psychological pressure,
Yes.
nothing before has happened. So this is something. As I said, they can be quite fresh. And this match, now I think that Anna is now completely in this match. She forgot the one before, yeah, because it's already long ago, right?
But this was a huge boost of confidence, because Hampi Konero is such a difficult opponent to beat, and they played a match for classical games, then they had to go through for rapid games, and I really think that for Anna it was really very important. It's just even though it was very difficult, it really increases her performance and potential.
Exactly. Okay, we will see, because it's, of course, it's not easy to live with a loss. So we will see if some loss happens, how the players will react, because the match is short, and then you need to fight back easily, not easily but quickly. In the match, it's much easier to play this tie break, because then you're focused on that, no previous experience. But when you're playing a match and then you lose a game, and then you need to recover by a win in a classical game, it's much harder, yeah. So first, of course, who wins will be in a huge advantage. Yeah, so they're thinking.
Yes,
Okay,
Anna is
actually,
still
Anna
thinking.
is thinking. So
But you don't have too many options here. I think we've seen that bishop d7 is the natural way to develop for black. And then what I wanted to ask you, then, for example, if we make some regular moves, is your idea to play rook c8, then maybe knight e5 and start trading rooks?
yes,
Do you need to trade
this
rooks?
is typical. But what white will do? White will exchange only one pair of rook. This is also typical stuff. You exchange one pair of rooks to stop the activity on the c file, and then you abandon that file to use rook on the other side because you have more space. This is also
Let's try them.
This is also quite typical. So,
Bishop
for example,
d7,
bishop
let's
d7.
Okay, you will play h5.
Yes,
we know.
h5. Let's say.
And then rook c8. I
Rook
want
c8,
to play
8 to c8. I don't know. I play something like
just I don't know what.
some random move I can do.
Let's say rook
that
c1.
Yeah,
Rook
that's it.
c1.
That's it.
And knight a5. That's I wanted to try.
Okay, I take on c8, you take on c8, and then I play maybe rook b1 or king e2 first. Let's say I move my king, I abandon the c file. So now it's your turn. You can jump to c4.
Yes, knight c4.
But as I told you, okay, I move my bishop somewhere.
But here I have the feeling that I achieved almost
Okay.
everything I can get.
Yes.
Here,
So I lost attempt. But let's say that I play something like, you want to go bishop knight b2. This is actually, that's why I lost attempt for. So here, let's say that if I go rook b1.
Rook b1. Okay.
Yes. Or maybe exchange. And now if you go knight
Okay,
a5, I take, and then I play king e2, let's say. Now you need to go b5.
Yes.
Okay. This type of position. I think now white will play, okay, there is a possibility of knight e5, but white will play h6 in this position. When we exchange one pair of rooks, she will do this. Okay, let's say that you play something like that. Okay, I push my pawn like this. I'm not doing anything. So how you play this position? But knight e5 is...
Knight c4.
Knight e5 is for sure better move.
Knight
Yes,
e5.
knight e5
So
is
bishop
much better.
b8. I don't have.
Bishop e8, okay. And I
more
maybe
useful.
push even more. Maybe bishop g5 is also when you are not targeting d5, d4 any.
No, but if you play bishop g5, I was counting on knight c6, and you were almost forced to exchange.
Okay, this position, let's discuss this
Yes.
position. I take, you take, and I bring my king, probably king e3 for a start, or maybe...
With the pawn on h6, maybe you can trade rooks and go for the endgame.
F3 is also a option that I stopped.
Let's say bishop d7.
Bishop d7, you can, yes. Let's say king e3.
Yes.
Maybe this is not the best one because I'm allowing king c2.
What can I do? Rook c3, rook e3. Is it possible, or you will enter the... I don't know. Let's try rook c3.
Rook c3, okay.
Maybe here I will have an opportunity to
No,
play
maybe
b4 and bishop
maybe
b5.
maybe
yes.
king. I don't need
King
king
d2.
e3. Let's say that I king d2 or not. Maybe I need to go back. Maybe I need to play this way.
Because you achieved everything you wanted.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know if this
yes.
everything, but okay, I want to push g4, f4. I want now start to roll my pawns. Maybe f6, king f7
Yes,
sounds
let's try it.
reasonable.
Yes,
Yeah,
f6, king
yeah, I
f7.
push. Okay, a4 will maybe be my motive at some stage.
King f7, and you will play a4 here.
A4 or g5 now, I don't know. Maybe g5 is not an option. A4 now. Maybe.
a4, you're forcing me to take, yes, but then bishop
Rook
is...
b7 or... Still very close to a draw. Very close. Very close. As I said, you need to be a master, very skillful in this type of positions to
But
bring home the bacon,
If you
right?
play g5, how should black react?
Take, probably.
Okay, take.
Oh, now some
I'm not
waiting
sure.
move. I don't know. Bishop a3. So what's your next move? Now we can move back and forth, but
Maybe I should leave the pawn.
Of
on
course,
the
this is
F6.
like an asset. This is an asset. Why is an asset? Because if I penetrate at some stage, I will always have this initiative. Yet, but how
first
to-
of all, you need the rook
Yes.
and the knight, which you don't
Yes.
have anymore.
Yes.
so-
No, but as I said, exchanging one pair of rooks, she will do probably for sure. But
Here I had another question. So it would be a mistake then, for example, after rook a8 to play rook hc1, because then it will force the exchange of both rooks.
pair of rooks, then king marches, and then even if you push d5, you are missing material to do something more. So this is the key. So this is probably something.
What I wanted to see, because there is a similar position, well, not similar, but there is a similar idea in accelerated dragon. When you take on d5, of course, this is not the same structure, then you exchange both rooks, and it seems that black is holding, but actually you have the king, the king who is marching through c3, b4, a5 to those pawns. Is there's
Okay.
kind of idea?
Also, this is, yes, you're right. This is the idea. This might be idea that this a6 is allowing this march, this penetration. It might be. But what I see now that you are working as a second for Anna, because you are suggesting the moves she's playing. She's playing a6. She didn't
So
mention this.
You
Okay.
revealed my identity, yes, so.
No, joking. We are, of course, neutral.
Yes, but
But a6, okay. So, your move. Let's see where will this take us.
she doesn't want to allow this h5, takes on g6, and maybe
Also, it's
doubling on-
psychological. When you allow h5, then white is the guy who is choosing to play h6 or not. And then she can take on g6, she can push h6. And to live with that tension, this flexibility sometimes is very annoying. So you play h6, and then your obvious reaction on h5 is g5. No other way. Yeah.
you know, like I offered this move, but of course I don't have any games, so I think that it was logical to me. But I would be curious to know if this is the best line. Of course, you said that we shouldn't analyze this position with the computers, but maybe they
Yes.
understand it as
Yes,
well.
okay. Of course, the engine will tell you some moves and evaluation, but to give you concept, this is the problem. Because engine will in this position give you so many moves. Rook b1, rook d1, king e2, g3, g4, a4, a3. So it's not easy to find the concept. What is your next concept? So that's why it's very hard to analyze this position. But you mentioned this h6 as like a novelty, right? I remember, probably you do as well, when we were getting before this chessing format, which was
Yes.
like a gold,
A Bible.
precious gold, the Bible that like a pre-computer era, and then you will see the games, you will check the analysis of the top players' games, and then this novelty, and then letter N would stand next to the move. Now this next to the a6, and you were so proud when your move was like a novelty, sometimes accidentally, sometimes by purpose, and then you get this letter N next to your move. But these days, so many games, so many computer games, that I think no one is actually now bothering, is this a novelty or not? But
So
probably it is, yeah. A6, but we cannot say
We
this
cannot
is a
claim-
true
yes.
novelty, because this is like a regular response in many different
In many other lines,
transpositions.
of
Yes,
course.
so
Maybe
it's not
she-
like a new concept.
Maybe Anna cannot claim the novelty exactly in this position, but I like this move more than bishop d7. So she is trying to adapt to the way, to White's way of playing this position. If I will play rook hc1, then bishop d7.
Yeah, I agree.
But maybe your move, rook b1 here. I will not allow to play bishop d7. But I cannot take rook b7, knight a5, yes? So there is a tactical refutation.
Maybe some sacrifice. No sacrifice.
No, let's just
yes,
show it, yes, because of course we are analyzing
rook
the
b1.
position in our head. So I thought that I wouldn't be able
Bishop
to take.
d7 was a nice option. Okay, you are just postponing, but will you allow this rook b6? Maybe you will. And then that, again, you will need, sooner or later, you will need to bother with this one.
We need to show rook b7,
Yeah,
knight
rook
a5,
b7,
of
knight, knight a5, and the thing is, no chance for some exchange sacrifice because this is a check intermezzo. And then,
we can even
yeah,
take.
so it's just dropping an exchange. Rook b6 is the move you want to do, probably. And again, just slowly building. Actually, I'm quite lucky because I just came yesterday for your, like a guest here, guest commentator, and one Sicilian, one Greenfield. Actually, this is my repertoire because with those Petrovs, I wouldn't be so, yeah, so skillful in maybe mentioning, proposing a band. So this is the position I like.
Well,
maybe I will learn something.
Then we are lucky
Very-
to have you
yes.
because I'm an e4 player and I do not master the Grunfeld type of positions at all. You know, I was watching so many games, but you really have to have the feeling of those positions with black and white.
Yeah, as I told you, it's important to study the key games here. MVL games, Magnus games, Kramnik's games. And then you can get some ideas. Dingley-Ren, of course, sorry, I forgot him at the beginning. Now he's also the guy, but we got used to his games where he's carrying queens on the board and then also doing some initiative with attack, but also he's quite skillful in this type of like of endgames. So,
We have a few moves.
okay, let's
have a
see,
look.
what do we have?
And we
Aha! No, you're sure that these are the moves? Okay. So we are suggesting quite good. You know, chess.com before when you are playing a game and someone is Kibitzer, and then there is this option how big percentage of predicted moves. So here it will be okay from our side.
Oh, that was my
Yes.
next question, you know, because we were talking about the percentage, of course, what is the chance of the Chinese players to meet in the final, but then what is the chance for us, what is the percentage for us to guess, let's say, half of the moves?
Yes, I don't know, but it looks that we are somehow doing it together quite well. So rook b6 is the move I would expect, because this is the move you want to make. Somehow you're stopping opponents' play. Yeah. Okay. As I mentioned, these days it's much easier to. This match is much easier to comment because we have a normal classical chess position. Can you imagine that we need to comment Fischer random? And then to check the games, which games? No games. You just need to find by yourself all the concepts. Actually, there was one funny story with me and Fischer random. So I was playing a Fischer random tournament in Mainz, next to Frankfurt. This was first tournament of chess Fischer random, very known. And I was playing. First, there was 2 days. I was playing Rapid and Blitz, and when I played Rapid, I was doing quite solid. And then it was like five rounds first day, and let's say 4 rounds second day. And then after 5 rounds, pairings went out. I was playing with Grishchuk with black, and somehow because I was new with this Fischer random, I was thinking what to do before some games. Do I open the pieces, or maybe symmetry, or maybe to be safe? And then I decided that I will make a symmetry. That this is not bad to do sometimes in Fischer random. And since I was staying in the hotel, which was close but not at the playing venue, so I was a little bit late to the game, and I was not running, but I was in a hurry. And then I came to the game, make a handshake, and then I saw that Grishchuk played knight f3, and I played knight f6 instantly. And then I said to the board that I realized I'm lost. The rook was on h8, knight was on g8, bishop on f8, knight on e8, and king on d8. So I played knight f6, Grishchuk plays knight e5, and I suddenly see that on f7 I can defend with knight d6. So I played knight d6, he pushed c4, but somehow I managed to survive the opening, I don't know how, and then I lost later. But this was the funny thing, knight f3, knight f6, and I'm lost.
Well, here your move is on the board, of
rook
course.
b6,
You know,
okay.
those moves come naturally to you. But before Anna makes her move,
Okay.
I found one very interesting line.
Okay.
which
move?
probably explains. So after h4,
Okay.
Anna first played rook d8 and then reacted to rook c4, h6.
Okay.
So let's say what normally happens if a black plays h6 here.
Immediately,
Immediately,
okay.
there is a very interesting line. I just wanted to be sure that this works. So let's say e5.
Okay.
Rook d8, then
Yes.
it's and then transposition h5,
Okay.
g5, and then you have this sacrifice, knight g5.
Ah, I've seen this. I've seen
Just
this.
wanted to show it, so maybe she
I've
wanted
seen
to
this,
avoid.
yes. Yes.
And if you take on g5,
Yes.
after h6,
h6, it looks like game over. Bishop f8, you take on g5. No. What
can
I
you
need.
because I don't know, like, because they actually, black didn't take on g5, they went for another
Aha, I
one.
see it. If I take on g5, I'm threatening checkmate, you play
Yes.
bishop e7. So I need to take on c6 first. You take on c6, now I take on g5 and no defense now.
And then h7, of
Bishop
course.
f6. Bishop f6 is a threat. After bishop f6 is a checkmate. So you need to have a move after bishop f6. Let's say that you go rook
But now
d4, but
check.
now I give check. Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I was thinking maybe she was trying to avoid this idea. Let's say after knight g5, this is still not over. Black played, and it was a game between Andreikin and Grishuk this year, which was played this year. So let's see, knight g5, knight d4 was played.
Oh, this is some kind of firework. Okay.
Bishop h7, but I'm not sure if this...
I've seen this game. This was from Belgrade.
Yes,
Belgrade
exactly.
Grand Prix, I remember. Yeah, Drakin played this
King
game.
f8,
Yes.
then another sacrifice, knight f7.
Yes, I saw this game.
King f7, rook c7, king f8, and rook d1. A crazy game which ended in a draw, but maybe Anna's team analyzed something.
This is one of the
line.
best moves for a long I have seen, because if with computer it's easy, but as a human,
Rook d1.
this is
yes.
like a superb pleasure to make this type of move. Come on, rook d1. Just bringing the resource, because probably you want to go to h5. So that rook d1 is like self-pinning. You are the one who will take in charge the d file. This is one of the best move I've seen for a long.
That's why I wanted actually to show this game. Black
Yeah,
went for
thanks.
knight f5. There is nothing else here, so knight f5 discovered check.
Yes, I remember now. King c2 was played.
King e2.
King e2, okay. Rook d1.
And then bishop c5. Another check. You
Rook
don't
d1 takes on
Yes.
d1, right?
Yes, rook d1, bishop c5
Yes.
check. You don't even bother.
Yes.
Then king e8. You don't have any other options, so king d1.
I think that Andreikin was better in some stage, but maybe okay.
Just
And,
wanted to show the
yes.
bishop d7.
okay.
Of course, you need to do
Yes.
something. Now bishop g6 check.
And bishop b6 probably.
King d8 and
Bishop
bishop
b6
b6.
repeating the move. Yeah, but he had some move somewhere. I'm trying to recall.
But this is an absolute thriller.
Yes, but probably known by both players. Who knows these days how much they know? Because when they are thinking, for example, Anna, she's thinking, people think she does. Okay, she's also trying to recheck what does my opponent want? Maybe she will go for this line. Maybe we didn't take enough time to consider this option, and so this is like this is like a prophylactical play in your head. You are doing like a prophylactic, although you have some information. So she knew probably for this game, but maybe there is an improvement, like you mentioned. So she wanted to avoid this stuff. Anything else you have?
Well, I have another game which was played that was also drawn in classical chess in the same variations. So we think we have to look for an improvement a little bit earlier at the start of the variation.
Yeah, but okay, maybe it's not. This was actually this was avoided, so maybe we don't need to.
Maybe
go
knight
too deep.
g5.
Okay.
Knight g5. Just a second here.
Okay.
Knight g5. So you cannot take on g5. Knight d4. Do you have
Yes.
something better here?
How? Maybe move the knight. But somewhere knight f3 or knight d4. Try to get the initiative over g file. Maybe it's an option. I'm not sure.
It's interesting. So you
So
knight
if I go
e4,
knight f3, will
or
you
knight
take or not? Maybe you won't take. maybe it's dangerous. If you take, probably you need to take on e5 as well. Okay, maybe bishop d7 first, but then I rook g1, bishop b5,
and then
I take on a6, maybe also some kind of draw, no?
But I can protect rook c3. No?
This is what I miss. Rook c3.
We have to continue.
I move my king. Okay, f8, h8. Let's say that I move it to h8.
But here I can play f4.
No, I can take
and
maybe.
Your bishop is closed.
Yes.
Completely.
Okay, it goes out to over f8. So your pawn down actually on queen side. Who knows? This is like. I don't believe that there is a advantage
bishop
here.
f8, bishop
f8,
b4.
yes, and then I'm playing 2 against 1 on this side.
But this variation is very interesting. Okay, let's say Anna wanted to avoid something
and this
very
was a
complicated.
very smart decision. Very smart. You get, because you get under. Come on, she's playing Greenfield. She's very experienced how to avoid unnecessary risk. On rook b6, she played bishop e8. The only thing now is, of course, white can be not better, but white can can have a nice position visually, like g3, g4, king e2. But the only thing is, which is the concept for a breakthrough? So what is white? Because white cannot improve her position forever. At some stage, you need to do something. But this is the position I wouldn't be so happy playing with black. I don't see now. Let's say g4, king e2. What do you do? Let's say that I play g4 or.
I found the exact same position, not that we have on the board, by via multiple transpositions that actually Dingley Rank, he waited also, he played h6 only after e5 was played. You know, here e5 was not played. So maybe he wanted to play h6 after e5 is played, you know. It's very complicated to understand. I think that this setup is probably the best for white when you play bishop d7 and a6 and bishop e8. But h6 was played by a few players only after black played e5. So it's very interesting to understand why. Only then, of course, you want to play bishop g5 and bishop h6. So they f6, they played h6 not to allow this possibility, and then to play knight e7, knight d5. While they were trying to postpone this,
of course, now white will at some stage, if she wants to play e5, she will play it, but she will move around just to, you know, to put some pressure, not to do it immediately. Also now the clock will be very important, because it's not the same if you get this position with black at some stage that is still flexible and you have like 20 minutes, or it's already defined and you have 40 minutes, 50 to decide about how to liquidate. Or
it was very important to play rook b6, not to allow b5.
Yeah.
Okay, so black doesn't have any counterplay for the moment. Can you play rook c8 with the idea of rook b7, knight a5 there, or then I can simply take on c8 and this doesn't work?
Yes, and
I cannot play rook c8 because then you will take on b7.
Yes.
So what else white can do? King e2, you suggested?
King e2 looks like, for me, like a completely reasonable move.
But then, let's say king e2.
G4 looks as well. I don't see anything wrong with playing g4.
Just to take more space.
Yes, this can be useful at some stage. Some g5 might be.
I'm a little bit worried that black will run out of useful moves.
Exactly.
So let's try g4.
But also king e2 might be an option. King e2 might be an option. But okay, let's do g4. Let's do g4. Okay, let's stick to this plan.
So I cannot play rook c8 as we let's just check it.
No, I know the idea now. The idea is rook d7.
Rook d7.
But hopefully some sacrifice doesn't work. Okay, probably not rook c6, bishop a6 later, but then I'm c5. That's why my king is not ideally placed.
Ah, but then rook d7 and next rook a8.
Yes. So let's say that if I play king e2, rook d7, can I sacrifice? Probably not.
No, but now I have rook
Rook
D
a7,
A7,
bishop
yes.
c4.
Bishop
But you go c5, I guess. No,
c5
this is probably not necessary.
But why c5? Then
Yeah,
I
okay,
take.
takes, yep. I go rook a7 now. You go bishop,
Yes,
bishop
c4.
c4. Now I will just need to attack this one. I will get counterplay probably. Bishop.
Ah, so you want to do it slow?
Yeah, I want to go out
bishop
with.
f8
Yes, I
and
want to go out with my piece because I'm worried here. If I don't go out with my pieces, it can be very passive.
Okay, c5.
Because knight e5, I cannot move the bishop. Knight e5 is coming, but okay.
But why don't you play then c5 and immediately rook c7 because you have
This
this
is better.
threat of
This is
rook
better.
a6.
You're right. This is much better.
Because
This is much better. This is the best. I need to open the bishop.
now let's show that there is a threat rook a6. Of course, make some random of g3, of course,
Yes.
something, and then yes, you lose
always
immediately, of course.
tactics. Yeah, this is okay. Okay, sacrifice is not necessary. Okay, I was just thinking as a concept because a6 move is.
I
So,
like the sacrifice if it would be possible for you to play knight d2,
Yes,
knight b3
yes,
in
that,
one move.
That
Yes,
was
of
I was
course.
I was thinking maybe to bring the knight at some stage. So your idea is to go rook d7.
No, this was your idea because
Yes, okay.
this is probably the only move we will have after, let's say, king e2.
Yes, king e2 is okay because then you are maybe thinking also in some stage to go e5 and bishop e4, maybe to move away from this. So you go rook d7.
And the pawn is protected. So if you will start with e5 here, I will immediately play knight e7.
Yes.
So how
Still, then I transfer my knight. This is typical.
Okay,
battle.
let's try.
I also do the transfer. You go knight
Knight
d5.
d5.
Yes, I move my rook.
Okay, I have so many moves now. b5. I want
b5,
to play this.
sorry, b5 you can. I move my rook, whatever.
And what do I do here?
Yes, now it's,
Now
yes.
because
Okay, you can go b4, but knight e4. Okay, this is maybe the way how you should play. And now
And
open the bishop.
what
rook,
else? Rook.
Here.
So you allow me to jump on d6. Yes, you will play
Yeah.
bishop b4.
Unpleasant position if you ask me. Bishop d2 maybe, or
Why can't I play knight d6 immediately?
bishop out, bishop
Right.
I don't know. Knight c3 also.
Oh yes, of course. I'm
Yeah.
missing the forks. Yes, yes.
Yes.
This was
Bishop f8.
a blunder.
No, it's white move. Ha! Bishop d2, f4, g4. But is this something? I don't know. You go a5. Who is first?
And can we obtain something here by playing g4, g5, knight f6, or this is
I was
nothing?
thinking this, that maybe I was in hurry. So maybe that this is like premature. That's why maybe this. I think king is good on it too.
So king e2, rook d7.
Rook d7, g4. Why will I play immediately e5? You go rook d8. Now I play e5. Maybe g5 is also possible because bishop g5 is threatening d8. But okay, let's say e5.
But something is hanging on d3
Aha.
now. You can take on e5. That's
Always a problem.
Yeah, always a tactical solution. Let's show it, of course, because now
Knight e5. Let's say knight e5. Bishop takes.
bishop takes e5 and
Pawn
you
save,
cannot
except if you will maybe have problems in some. No problems.
No, rook b7, bishop
Yes,
b5, and
yes,
you're
yes,
lost,
exactly.
of course. So.
So this is okay. Yeah. So I cannot have everything.
So you should start with d5, of course.
It seems so.
Because if you play rook d8...
Okay, I can start with g4. Maybe g4 is more useful than... but then my knight cannot come to... cannot come to d2 if I don't play.
No, Alojzije, what I wanted to show as well, that when you play king e2, rook d7, if you start with e5 and let's say we make a careless move, rook d8, then maybe you should play bishop b4. You see, that's the difference
exactly.
between not
Yes,
knight
you're completely
d2.
right. Maybe, but maybe this bishop e4 immediately. Knight e7 on b7 is hanging.
b7 is hanging, so it's important to.
So you need to play knight e7, right? I will transfer my knight. I guess you go to d5, I go to e4.
No, the rook.
Ah, sorry. I need to play rook b1. Sorry. Rook b1 or rook b2?
Yes, but actually to avoid this knight c3 check, can we put the rook somewhere else, or b1 is the perfect square?
Okay, rook b2.
b5, rook c1.
Yeah, but then bishop f8 is a tempo.
Ah, bishop f8 and
no, let's play it to b1. Let's do the normal way. b5, rook goes to c1, let's say. Yeah, this is our position. And most likely the one which will happen. And you move okay, a5 you can go, maybe as well.
Okay, let's try a5.
Yes, a5 is also, but an option. Okay, allowing bishop b5, but this leads nowhere.
I have to do something about this fork because I know myself I will miss it at some point. So let's try and
okay, I move on with
bishop d2. Yes.
Bishop d2, or also I can play bishop d6. Knight d6, bishop e4 might be a try.
But what happens after knight c3 check?
Okay, I take. I don't believe this is good.
No, knight c3.
Knight c3.
Yes, you see the fork. So let's see.
Sorry.
Rook c3, what is happening
And then
here?
bishop b5.
Bishop b5, but then
bishop b5, rook
I can protect, yes. I was afraid that we are going to blunder.
Bishop b5, rook, where?
Rook d8.
Take on e8?
You take on e8.
But here maybe some c2 is the move. No, I don't want to do this. Maybe even here it's compensation.
But what do you want? You want to play bishop c6, yes? Or I cannot leave the 8th rank?
No, but I threaten to take on e8 and bishop c6. No way to stop it, and actually will drop the c pawn.
So now I'm forced to take on d6 and to play rook d8, if I cannot. What do you think? So rook d6 here.
Better for white, slightly. Rook d6, ed, rook d8, I collect the c pawn probably. Okay, I can protect first here, but I can also collect the d pawn.
But can you keep it if you play rook b6? If you play bishop f8, I will play bishop b4?
Maybe I can.
I cannot see how you win it back. No, we have like the equal pawns for the moment. Yes, I want to win the pawn.
Yes, but also unnecessary risk. Unnecessary risk from black side. Because here, without this king is far away, all those endgames where we exchange rooks and king starts to rolling. So what else? Maybe a5 is not...
No, have a look at their time management. Late Angie is still thinking, so she has less than 1 hour, of course, and the position is still very complicated. Let's have a last look at the format of the tournament. So we will remind our viewers about the system, the time control, of course. So.
Yeah, so it was before, it was four game matches. Still it will be 4 game matches, but the final will be 7 game matches. Still, 6 game matches. We are still waiting for the names and for the venue, right? One part is Monaco here, other part will be played in Uzbekistan quite soon, right? At the end of the month. Time control is the same as actually classical. I would say this is like a classical tournament style, 90 minutes for 40 moves, followed by half an hour. This is
although not the same which is used in the candidates tournament.
Okay.
But this
is something universal. I would say mostly players who are watching this broadcast is something they mostly they do, right? Play on this time control, so they are quite familiar with it. Because at some stages this time controls where there was no increment in the first part of the game, and it was not easy for players and for viewers even to understand what our players actually are actually dealing with when you don't have an increment. But this is some kind of, I think, the most spreaded time control, and actually in these times, you see the preparation ends usually at 15th move plus, with some knowledge already about the future events in the game. So I think it's completely enough. Yesterday we also checked there was enough time to create some problems and enough time to deal with the problems. So I think it's good time control. I don't know about your opinion.
No, first I wanted to say, because I had the question while you were talking, that of course we were talking about the prize fund. We have only 8 players, and they're playing for 250,000 euros overall. So of course you have the prize fund for each group and then for the finals. But I was thinking, as well, we were professional players once. Well, have you ever played with such a prize fund in a tournament?
No, actually, this is a huge achievement. But I really appreciate what's going on and how the prize funds are increasing, and actually how big portion, if you're a good player, how big portion you can get it. But the thing is, I'm always trying to go, because I'm dealing a lot with other sports. I'm having a lot of friends, like a former, really famous athletes, and somehow I would like to see the chess is going, ahead with some other sports as well. Yeah. So
you told me that you have a lot of friends who are professional tennis players. So we can try and compare the situation, like what was in professional tennis before and where they're now, of course. So can we?
The thing is, they have much higher costs. For example, this is the main issue. Of course, top 50, top 70, 80, they are really, if they are good, they are really taking good prize funds and so on. But the cost, if you are the number 200, in chess is still possible to somehow to get on with the season and so on. But for them, it's quite hard, because they need to pay for physio, for a trainer. Still, when they finish career, I think the cost of the lectures and training is higher in tennis, so they can still can do something with the lessons and so on. But of course, they need to go out at the court. If you're a little bit older, the weather, physical, it's not easy. So in some stages it's more appealing. Of course, top level tennis is much more appealing than chess. But I was surprised to hear how number 200 in the world is struggling actually to finish the season. So in that terms, chess can in some ways can be happy how the events are going for some, like 100 in the world players, and maybe a little bit less than that. But for top players, of course, I'm quite happy to see that the prizes are increasing, especially for women chess, right?
Yes, but there is a very positive trend, and also there are so many tournaments. Well, we still don't have the same system, where there are a lot of different levels which are connected as in tennis. But we already had Grand Swisses. The qualification format is different. For example, in festivals, you have the systems which allow, for example, younger players to qualify for the main events. So the sports factor is more and more taken into account.
Yes, exactly. If you would ask me about the system, which system I would prefer, the thing is, I couldn't say that one system is good for all the top chess events. For example, candidate tournament as a round robin of 8 players in men's competition, for me it's very good. Actually,
you mean just?
Yes. Like sure. Now they have like a round robin, 8 players. They are fighting for the first place, which is securing a spot the championship match. In maybe some other field, for example, in this women event, I think these matches are quite interesting. This is like a KO system. KO system, maybe like we have it in a World Cup. It may be a little bit more games than usual, but still KO system. For World Cup, with a different type of players, 100 or 200 players. Chaos system is perfect one, and if you would ask people what do they think, they would say World Championship match, very interesting, huge product, big media attention. Candidates tournament, memorable ones. London when Magnus was playing this round, last round with what Vichy was doing, what Chucky was doing was fabulous. Then World Cup with so many scalps and also for some players from different continents. So I cannot say that we should stick to one tournament. However, I would say for the level below top 10, top 15, probably Chaos system is the best. For my level, when I was level, you play Chaos system, because if you play some Swiss tournament, it's not easy to play when you know that even one win against, even two wins against like a top player maybe won't bring you anything. In tennis system, in Chaos system, you know when you win against one strong opponent, you have even chance in the next round because you're taking his spots in terms of seed. So it's much easier than to be excited with that type of event.
Okay, this I understand. This is a very interesting argument, but while you were explaining, then I had a thought. This is very appealing to the rankings and, of course, to the performance. But then how do you obtain, for example, the norms? Should we change the system completely? Because the title of the Grandmaster and, well, how chess players, then especially younger, they will achieve, the norms in the tournaments.
I understand. You are right. Okay, there are some ideas that before there were some ideas in some open tournaments that they made like a mix between the Swiss tournament and open system, and there was actually some tournaments I think played in Europe when you lose in a Chaos system, you proceed with like a Swiss system, but you are already having some place in the top. I agree. With norms, it's quite tricky. I wouldn't say that we should abandon titles and then say that we don't need Grandmaster titles, that we need some Super Grandmaster title. Come on, if you for example, speak with non-chess public and then say that you're Grandmaster, they would know what that means. If you say that you are Super Grandmaster, let's say that FIDE invents a new title, they will still think that you're a Grandmaster. Super Grandmaster, okay, good, but nothing that will immediately be recognized. But we are lucky because in some sports it's not easy to measure the quality of play. Yes. We are really lucky that we have this tennis, that we have a ELO rating as a measure, which is quite easy and it's already well spreaded. Actually, I've seen that some sports are thinking to use from chess rating because in tennis it's different. You are defending points from each tournament. In chess, each game played in South America, Europe is the same. So
yes, but they measure in tennis more your form and performance, of course, and it starts it's all over again from the beginning of the year.
Yes, okay. Tennis has those Grand Slams, which are really huge product and the clear system, the level of the tournament. If we have an open tournament somewhere, it's ATP 250, ATP 500, that immediately that means the strong players, a bigger prize fund, strong players will come. So you already know Grand Slam is something. So this system we are lacking. There are many tournaments, but it's not easy to measure how important are there. Also, they have, I think, a little bit clearer calendar. They immediately know. So, okay, of course, it's possible to use some advantage for tennis. Hopefully, in the next days, my friend Ivan Ljubicic, who was a coach of Roger Federer and former number 3 in the world, one of the best Croatian tennis player ever, he's resident here, so he might come for a opening. So you will then need to make a homework how to announce him. No, I'm joking. So yes. So we can maybe ask Ivan. Andrea can ask Ivan about his opinion. What can tennis can maybe give to chess in terms of system? Yeah.
Oh, this would be such an incredible opportunity for us. So then you are going to be the journalist this time, and It will be very insightful, I think, for us and to have his opinion. And maybe I think that tennis model also offers a very clear recognition of the event from the general public. You know, they know immediately what kind of event it is, you know, who is playing, as you've said, and they feel this thrill.
Yes.
So hopefully this will be the same for chess.
And we can be lucky because Carlos Alcaraz, now the #1 in the world, has said that chess helps him to stay focused, that he likes to play chess. Tsitsipas was mentioning, Medvedev, Rublev, Djokovic was playing with Boris Becker. There was one photo, but I know Borna Ćorić is really good. Ljubicic is, of course, really, I would say that he's more than 2,000 in rating, so we can be happy that our tennis players are also familiar with chess. Okay, let's see the events.
Yes, and finally we have a move.
A move
which we analyzed.
Yes. No. Here we don't have any secrets in this type of positions.
So we started with King E2, but Alej opted for E5.
Yes.
The difference was that after Rook D7, King E2, Rook D8, you can no longer play something else. You have to play Bishop E4. You cannot leave the pawn on E5 unattended. So,
yes, I think she was thinking what to do. Of course, she knows the motive. She knows that she will play E5 at some stage, but I think she would like to keep the game a little bit more flexible for one more like part of the game, just to be flexible. But okay, now she said, okay, it's time to make this move to define the structure.
But what did we try? We started with King E2.
We were moving the king and then transferring the knight.
But then Rook G7 here.
Yes. This was one option. Other option is okay. Rook D7, but now Rook D7,
yes.
Bishop.
You want to play Bishop
I
E4
wanted to play Bishop
yes,
E4 now, but maybe this is.
But no, I have knight E5.
Yeah,
no?
but still now I take on B7. It's a little bit different. I played it with G4, I think, in some different.
Okay. So what happens here?
This looks better for white, no?
Okay. So let's first try Rook B7.
Rook B7, Bishop B7, this
Rook
looks,
B8,
and then I take on A6 as well, and the king is weak. This maybe I can take on A6 as well, but let's say that I don't see. This I just win the piece.
Of course,
and then Bishop C5. Yeah, so this is like a game over. So what else? Okay, here instead of Rook B7, there is possible maybe to double the rooks. Okay. But still, then the Rook comes to C8. No, this doesn't work. Yes, but if you take maybe Rook D8. This one, from 7 to 8 rank. Maybe this is a possibility.
Once again, this is not a very natural move, of course. But if everything else is losing,
when you take a look a little bit deeper, then you see that there are also some logics behind, right? But I would stay away from this one. This looks to me very dangerous because white is having so many options. The main thing is, we can maybe say to our viewers that the king is also a piece in an endgame. Here, this one is really far. Somehow, this will at least this king can help in protecting something, stopping something. This one actually is completely out of the game. Yeah.
Alojzije, you know, I like this move E5 very much. Why? There is a psychological point because she started with E5. Of course, she understands very well, or she was thinking for a long time, that Rook D7 is Anna's plan. So I don't even know, how do you say it in English? Because when we were training, that our coach was always telling us that you cannot play artificially with schablons. You know?
Okay.
So if you will continue with the same plan and play Rook D7, then you're simply worse.
Yeah, I understand. You cannot just you're right. You cannot just play something in general. Yes. Automatically. So you need to adjust your plans, right?
So E5 is directed against Rook D7. She knows that Anna prepared Bishop D7, Bishop E8, Rook D7, Rook D8. Her moves are very simple. So rook d7, here you have bishop b4, yes?
Yes, yes. Yeah, so this move actually e5, as you mentioned, is Almira is opening more possibilities. If you do it immediately, you are having more possibilities than later. So this was the right moment to do it. So she burned a bit of time.
But I wanted to wait for rook d7 because I thought that the rook is very awkwardly placed. There you see you have this bishop in e8, the rook on d7, then you have to play almost all the time rook d8 back. So I really wanted to wait for this move and then play e5, but what options do you have? Maybe bishop f8 to replace your bishop?
Maybe, but when you take a look of the position,
bishop f8
black pawns are
yes.
all on 7th and 6th rank. It's not like some huge successful strategy, but because of this square and this pressure of d4, this was like some kind of balance. So you mentioned bishop f8.
And if I play knight a5, you will go for rook c7, yes? This is just a jump, nothing else. Because
Yes,
I have to do
yes.
something with this rook on b6. But I don't know how. But let's try rook, knight a5. Where do you go?
I go to c7. Okay, let's move it. I go to c7.
And now bishop c6. I wanted to protect the pawn.
Yes, okay. This is like a reasonable idea. Okay, I had one better option. Now I see rook c5, much better move. And then you need to come back and you're dropping a pawn, actually, knight c6, rook b7. Yeah,
Yes.
now I can take. So this is
Rook
this is
c5 is,
premature.
is much
But do I
better.
have a threat? Maybe I don't have a threat. Maybe bishop f8 is useful for you. And take a look like a logical stuff. Now this one won't. Okay, knight e5 might be a try, but to wait this for forever, no. I would play bishop f8. You mentioned. Let's do this move.
So king e2, preparing knight d2,
Yes.
knight e4, of course.
King e2, right? No fun here.
I don't know what to do because bishop e4 is still an option. It depends which move black will make.
No, probably now you need to play like rook b8. You need to maybe somehow just not to wait this bishop e4.
We shouldn't allow bishop e4, yes?
I don't know. So rook b8, bishop e4. I move my knight. Can I do this way? Trying to prepare this bishop b5 stuff.
But the b7 pawn?
Yeah, bishop b5. So maybe I could do it immediately, but then I'm not sure. Can you sacrifice? No, now I
simply go back.
yes, yeah. So maybe you need to make a waiting move.
Okay. There's another move, but it's very passive. Rook b8, you protect the pawn. But I think, you see, all our pieces are on the 8th rank. And we only have our active knight on c6.
There is one move.
Which move?
I would consider that move in the game. I would consider to play a5 here.
a5?
Yes.
And knight before.
Knight
yes?
before, this is like, but also it might be some kind of a5.
It's a committal move, yes?
We can play this, but it can also be tricky because I'm leaving holes behind, and as we know, pawns
And
they don't
can't-
go backward.
Okay, because now you don't have knight a5.
Yes.
My first
yes,
try is
okay.
to take, of course. So
Maybe
knight
the best
b4.
is not to take, because if you take here, I might maybe get some activity, because now my position, at least optically, look, two bishops heading to the same part of the board. Knight is here.
Of course, I understand this is a positional sacrifice,
Yes.
especially if you will manage to play bishop c6.
Exactly.
Do you have time for it? Because if, for example, if I play rook c7, if you play bishop c6, I will take on b4. And you're... But
okay.
okay, maybe it's still not over.
Bishop f3 I have.
Bishop f3
Yes,
check,
so we
okay.
can show,
This doesn't work,
rook
okay.
c7, bishop c6, that this would be a good try. The point is that you are winning 2 pieces for the rook, but here after rook
You have an
b4 there is
intermediate.
this
Yes. Oh.
check, which just
King takes.
yes, king takes. Still possible to play because bishop c4, but then you exchange one pair of rooks, and then you are.
Yes, I missed this. So rook c7, bishop c6 is possible.
But I would just before starting this calculation, I would just check: is there any possibility not to take? If there is none, okay, then I understand.
Okay, we had knight
No
d2,
way.
knight d4.
Knight before anyway comes, so I probably will need to take.
But then maybe you can give it away because the structure changed, and in some positions you can give away the light square bishop. If you come, I don't know, let's try knight d2. Maybe even after knight b4 I can play bishop e4.
Okay.
What do you do here?
Knight e2 if I take.
I'll take on b7.
Yes.
Bishop. No, I like the bishop.
Rook.
Rook b8. Now knight d4. I will have knight c5.
Yeah,
as
this
well.
is usually better for white because this one is not so dangerous when it's alone. What else? Bishop e4. Bishop c6.
But then I take. Let's try. Yes, bishop c6, bishop c6.
Yep.
And you are forced, of course, to take with b.
Yep.
So how is this position?
Better for white it must be. a4, I just play a4, and strategically this is better for white. It must be better for white. Knight e4 and then...
Knight c5, of course.
Yes, this is better for white. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that after e5...
We shouldn't play rook d7, or it was not rook d7.
No, bishop f8. Bishop f8 is okay move. Sorry, so this was the position. Bishop f5, f8, king e2, and now it's time to figure it out what to do. Maybe rook b8 is useful.
Rook b8 immediately.
Just to make rook b8 to be safe.
And so knight d2, now you have knight e7, because the pawn is no longer hanging, and the knight e4, knight f5
Bishop
maybe.
e4 probably, but also knight e7 is knight d2, knight e4 is an option. But let's start with bishop e4. Can I do bishop knight e7 now?
No, knight e7 now you will take.
Yeah.
No,
but bishop e5, bishop e5, this was my intention.
But then what can we do? Okay, knight e7. Can we play rook c7? My other move.
Okay, you can. Bishop e5 check.
And I'll go somewhere.
King
e1.
e1.
How do you protect your pawn?
Not easy at all. Not easy at all. I don't know.
But I think we have a move on the board. Let's have a look.
I'm not sure. Rook d5 came. Okay, this is strange.
I think that we will let the players think for a while, because this is our last chance to take a small break before the time trouble. Anna spent quite some time elaborating. I think that Alei will have to adapt herself to a completely new situation. We will take a small break and we will be back, soon.
Soon, right? Yeah, stay with us.
Stay with us. Oh, sorry.
You started to play a game, right?
Yes, we are back. Welcome to the Women's Candidates Tournament. Grandmaster Alojzije Janković, together with Women's Grandmaster and International Master Almira Skripchenko. So I made d4 on our board. This was the move played in the second game between Lei Tingji and Anna Muzichuk. But before we will get back to our analysis, I wanted to show you well, such a relic. Of course, we already told that this club is filled with treasures. And by walking in the galleries, I came across, this official diploma, and I think we have a picture for you. So this is actually an official diploma from the Olympiad, which was organized in Nice in 1974. And you have the autograph of the Soviet team, which won at that time. So you have Anatoly Karpov, Viktor Korchnoi, Boris Spassky, Tigran Petrosyan. So you have Tal and Kuzmin, yes? Because I couldn't remember that Kuzmin was playing in this Olympiad, but he was probably the reserve board, yes?
But at that time 6 players were playing, right?
But one, important detail that you also have at the bottom of this diploma, the signature of the captain, and the captain was no other than Vasily Smyslov.
Great champion, right? I think Kramnik has said that he's the champion who was underestimated in terms of his quality of the games and style and everything. Vasily Smyslov.
Here, his games were so pure, actually.
Yeah, Capablanca style, no some crazy combination, but you understand how the logics were in the game. So he was one of the really great players. Yep. Okay. So what do we have? Of course, guys don't think that we are not following games during the break. We do. So we already checked a bit that what happened in the game. Rook d8 was played, right? After Rook d5.
Rook d5, that was a completely different concept. We didn't have this move in mind because we were trying to preserve the d5 square for the knight. So what was Anna's idea when she played Rook d5?
Probably the idea was here that if I go knight a5, you go Rook c5. So probably one of the idea was to prepare this jump, and that's why, or of course, Rook d8 is always on the menu. So here maybe I'm combining 2 threats. One is knight a5, second one is like Rook d8 when knight e5 will be a trick. So probably this was the case, and then this prophylactical move, Rook c2. I have sometimes an issue how to explain this prophylactical move, because people, when they're playing chess on like amateur level or club level, they want to do something. They tend to create something. They tend to do some combination, some plan, some threat. But this prophylactics, it's probably the thing which is like a skill of the best players. You see, she's playing Rook c2, so she's taking in advance the possibility of knight a5, just moving away that option, and then now on knight a5, bishop e4 probably is just a move. So I like this move. Also, it fights against Rook a5. If some stage happens, immediately I'm protecting my pawn. So this is the move like Tigran Petrosyan, famous strategical and prophylactical guy, would be very happy. Yeah. And because when you are making prophylaxis, then you're opening to find a new idea, right?
Yes.
So, and to find a new idea usually takes some time. So like a small useful move which stops few threats, and then you move on.
But we also know from our previous analysis that when you double your rook on the d file, you have this tactical idea of taking on e5. So it's on the air already right now. You cannot avoid it. Maybe you can play bishop b4 first.
Yes. What I wanted to say that I was heading to this direction, but knight e5 was the other direction. So here I'm also stopping maybe knight e5 because my rook is not hanging. Maybe I will have time for bishop e4, I don't know. So let's say king e2, you can take on e5.
Yes, I can take on e5.
Maybe you can you? Or
no, king e2,
let's say king e2, you take on e5.
Knight e5.
I take knight e5, you take bishop e5. I play probably bishop e4.
But then you have this idea of
Bishop
take
e4,
bishop
no.
d4.
Yeah. No, bishop e4. Yeah, this is good. You're right. Bishop d4 solves all the problems. So I need to probably take here. You take on d3.
And you take
I
on
take b7.
And bishop b5.
Bishop b7.
h6 is hanging. h6.
Yeah, okay, but you're having a threat, so I need to move my king probably. King f3. A dead draw or initiative for white?
I'm not sure, because bishop b5, of course, allows rook c7, but then you will exchange with rook d7, so maybe the opposite color bishops give you very good chances.
White will stay with one rook on the board, but probably this should be a draw.
Yes,
this should be a draw.
Completely.
Okay, so I need to find something else. What else? Instead of king d2, which move should I do? Okay, let's start with bishop e4. I go bishop e4, you go to b5 or a5. Rook b5 is strategically maybe sound.
But okay, rook b5, well, okay, I'm forced to take, yes. Of course.
Okay, maybe not rook b2, but okay, let's say that you are forced. Rook b2 might be an option as well, but let's say that you take, pawn takes.
Then rook b, I was thinking that then I will still can take on e5. Because
okay,
I will take rook b2, and I will take on e5
okay,
anyway,
yes, I agree. So king e2 and bishop f8 or b4?
b4 maybe. What happens after b4?
Okay, b4 maybe it's too quickly. You are allowing me knight d2, knight c4 and some stage later. Okay, but it might be also an option.
But can I play rook a8 now? I like
you
this
can.
move.
This is a good move. Just taking the chance to conquer the file. Yep. Again, I lose this majority. It's not so dangerous as before, long term, but I got activity. This is this balance which I always and you are always mentioning. Looks equal. Looks okay, playable. So many options still. So what do you expect, Almira? What will happen now after rook d8? Which move we will see? Okay, maybe we didn't check. Okay, let's check rook b7, the main move. This is knight e5, takes, bishop takes.
But now you no longer have bishop d4. What happens after bishop b4?
Bishop?
No, okay, but now you can come back, of course.
Yes.
Because the knight is, of course, so bishop b4, you simply move your rook.
Yes,
anywhere,
somewhere,
of course.
d6 or whatever. So probably I need to transpose. I need to take on e5, and then this is d3. And this rook takes d3, same story.
And it's a draw.
Yes.
So
if I'm white, if I want to move on, then
you should start with bishop
e4. Bishop e4 is the only move to
continue the fight.
Keep the game going. Yep. So she's thinking, but okay, now the clock is ticking. Not so much time now. It will be tougher to keep the flexibility. Yeah. When you are a little bit lower on the time, then
what is I don't see anything. What is the how many moves have been played?
Yeah, it's like 20 moves, so it's 20 still 20 moves to the time control.
And you have 30 minutes. So let's put us in late G head, and let's see what with 30 minutes on the clock, you understand, of course, that you make a few moves, and like let's say 3 or 4 moves, you're already in time trouble, even though you still have increment. Which decision will you take in this position?
Yeah, because as I said, to be flexible now, it's not easy because when you are a little bit low on time, you tend to define the structure and define your next way of play. So you don't want to be too flexible because you know that you might, if you are low on clock, you might get into some problems. So she might now head for something more concrete, but then her advantage is not there. So the advantage is to be flexible. So now it's a tough choice. If she exchange pieces, liquidate, no advantage. If she stay flexible, but I think she will go for it. She will play bishop before, because from the first game she showed that in this, when it's 50-50, what she will do, that she keeps with the game going.
Mm-hmm. And we have fun facts today, that today actually we have the birthdays of Lubomir Ljubojevic. He's 72 years old.
Oh, greetings to Ljubo.
And of course of Zsofia Polgar. Well, she's 48 years old, so they share their birthdays. But you know, well, if we're talking about the birthdays, our team, of course, they give us all the information that we need. We were talking also about Boris Spassky, so he shares the birthday with my daughter, Ludivine, and every time we were meeting him, he was telling me that, Almira, don't forget, there is 70 years old difference between us. He was always making these jokes.
Spassky is a great guy, yeah. Fantastic champion.
And he tells incredible stories. You know, you would sit there for hours, and anything he tells you, you know, about his childhood, about chess tournaments, well, you could listen to him for hours, of course.
No, this is a fantastic chance if you can speak with that type of legends. Really, I'm a little bit jealous because with Spassky, he was once in Croatia. He was actually he came as a he was maybe before more, but he was in the recent time in Croatia, late 90s, maybe beginning of 20. So he was trainer of I think Argentinian player, Felger. He was his coach, and then he visited Pula. But I just met him briefly, not enough time to talk, and I was a kid, so it was not like a big chance. But it was, for me, it was fantastic to see him there. Yeah. No, Spassky is a great. You mentioned this. You mentioned Ljubo. Ljubo is he was born 51. So he's the same age as Karpov, Timan. They are all born 51. Ulf Andersen, I think, they are this year. But the most famous one is 1990, the same as Anna Mozuchuk.
I think he was born in 50, because we just said that he was 72.
This was my mistake?
No, because I was thinking, if I
the
was...
boy should be 51 like Kulak, but he was born 50? Okay,
yes,
my bad.
Yes, no, because
sorry.
He celebrated his
72, sorry, my bad. But this is this similar generation.
Yes, of course.
Kulak, Timan, Ljubojevic, Ulf Andersen. I think they are all the same. They were all the same age. But the best one was 1990, yeah, with Magnus, Magnus Nepov was.
Maxim Vassiliev,
yeah, this
of
is
course,
the strongest one,
this generation, I think, is the strongest.
Yes, but that one was quite strong, yeah. Yeah, Ljubo always with his witty comments, yes.
You know, actually, he was here in Monaco, and in the same role, in your role, he was commentating the Women's Grand Prix. I was actually a player back then, in 2015, and so it was also such a pleasure. But then he would also ask you a lot of questions, and you would try to explain your train of thoughts. At the end of the game, I said, no, but this is ridiculous, Almira, you know? He was shouting at you all the time, so... No, you should play this and this and this. And it reminded me, of course, a little bit of Viktor Korchnoi. He was always very categorical in his opinions, but it was also such a great experience. I didn't really care because they have so much to share. Well, he can tell you that you don't understand anything.
As I told you, so my first GM Nord was in Cannes Open Tournament. I was second or share second, and but before I was first here in 1997, and there was a match like old generation against young generation. For old generation, they played in Majestic, I think, hotel in Cannes. Korchnoi, Gligoric, I think Smislov was playing as well, and who was fourth? I'm not sure. Against the young generation, that was Betienne Bacro, Ruslan Ponomarev, Tal Sheket. He was at that time world junior champion. Maybe Nataf, I'm not sure. Yeah, and I was very cute. Temano was playing also that.
But those tournaments also were so interesting to watch.
Yes, and the way how they even Korchnoi is coming, and then Gligoric asked him on like a Serbian or like ex-Yugoslav language, ask him about how did you do, and then he's replying in the same. Yeah, I won. But they were old, but they were fighting like alliance. If you would ask me who was the best ex-Yugoslavian player, probably between Gligoric and Ljubojevic is not easy to say. Maybe Gligoric's influence
was... It's not easy to choose.
Yes, influence was a little bit bigger, but they were great names for sure.
Actually,
those two, yeah.
Yes, we have the candidates tournaments, and now that I think about it, I think that Ljubomir Ljubojevic was such a great player, but I think that he never managed to qualify for the candidates tournament.
He was number 3 in the world. Number 3 in the world at that time. This was like a huge success, but
how difficult it is.
Yes, and he had this style, little bit style. There was one Olympia, I think, in Philippines, when he just sacrificed the exchange. He didn't, he was not so, I would say, focused on results. Discipline. He would go for it.
He was a real artist, of course. Yes. And what happened? Because I can see that
I think we don't have so many. Okay. Yeah, Bishop e4. Like I said, now I know her a little bit better, so I won't suggest that I will eat my diplomas or whatever. So now I know if there will be 50-50, I know which 50 to take.
But now we know that this is classical late Inji, She will go for the complications. If she can manage them, she thinks that Bishop b4 is her best chance in this position to keep the fight on the board.
Yes.
Because everything else was simplifying,
liquidating,
of course.
Yeah, right.
So what else? You were saying, we were analyzing rook b5, doubling the pawns, but gaining some activity, rook a8, b4, or rook a5.
This is a tough decision now. Anna is on 40 minutes. Now if I would be black, I would burn for sure 10 minutes. Because I'm completely changing the character of the position. If I play rook b5, so I'm abandoning my majority, which is not an easy option. Because if you are a greenfield player, sometimes you can check the games where black is winning this type of position, usually because of this majority.
Yes, we need to. We need, for our viewers, of course, we need to help them understand that when you are talking about the majority, we are talking about this pawn against the pawn on
this is actually this big majority, because suddenly you block white in the center, and on the other wing you are 2 against 1, and slowly you are improving your position. And as a white player who was playing this line a lot, I'm somewhere in my consciousness, I'm a bit afraid of this majority. Yeah, because I lost it in Blitz and many games when I would underestimate this.
This is what we call, sense of danger.
Yes,
that you
so if you are a black player playing greenfield, you know that this is one of your, and she did it. It's a tough decision. Okay, maybe she's in a good shape. She's very confident, so she's making decisions quicker than yesterday. So we will see. But she desperately, she's searching for activity, and A file now is the key.
But I was not even sure what to do after rook a5, but because if you take on b7, you still have this trick knight e5. Yes. But okay, the position is what it is now. Rook b5, 8b5, and we were looking at
Almira, give me opinion. Is there any chance that we will have a same scenario as yesterday, but in the reverse colors? That Anna somehow from this slight plus position, now white, that then again black becomes the one who is maybe pushing because of clock and the situation.
It is possible. I just want to understand what is the critical moment where you over push as white here. What move?
This is a similar scenario like yesterday. White was pushing a bit, it was safe, suddenly making some quick moves, and now we'll see if white doesn't manage to create something in 1 or 2 moves. Okay, this hole on d5, it might this a pawn b4 will be very strong. When I push b4, I'm locking your queen side. This might be tricky.
And then should we play king e2 here? Is she afraid of knight e5? What did she do?
Let's see, okay. What happened? The move we are waiting for is which move she did play. Okay, still waiting. But
yes, maybe we can have a closer look at the position.
But we can also maybe figure it out.
King e2 she played.
Still, bishop f8. Every Greenfield player knows how to turn the tables. You know, when you are how to it's squeeze when it's time to do it. So I'm pretty sure that she's experienced. But for us, for viewers, for everyone, this is a great thing because we will have really, I think last 2 games will be. Even if this one ends up in a draw, I think both players are in the mood for fight. So this is very good because it's not easy if you start with some draw less than 30 moves. It's not easy. It's not easy to switch to aggressive mode. Now they are already, they are ready for fight. So this is good.
So what else do we have? We were analyzing rook a8 a little bit.
So bishop f8, knight b4, everything is possible now.
Knight b4, of course, is a very active possibility.
Yes,
so
because on rook b2, I go knight d5,
knight
you
d5.
cannot take, we can take here now. But also some drawing margin around, but 2 bishops. So okay, you probably don't need to take, but to allow this one. So I think she's considering that, either to jump to b4 or to play bishop f8, which is also the move you want to do, because this is what we will learn that you need to bring resources.
I think that also, you mentioned this bishop d5. When you give up this bishop, it should be immediately justified. So your knight should be already on e4, like knight d2. Then you take, the rook is on d5, you play knight e4. So you are missing, yes, one tempo here.
Yes, if I manage to jump in somehow, I will do it. I see that she made bishop f8. So, everything reasonable, but this is the key. You're playing chess, she knows the possibility, she's perfectly aware that she can play knight b4, but this decision making, that's why we support chess, because in chess sometimes, Almira, I'm pretty sure you have experienced this a lot, you have sometimes similar moves, you can go this way, that way, but you need to make only one. This is this decision making process we would like to see for our kids and for everyone, that they can get used to that. Of course, that she knows that she could have played the night before. But.
And actually, you were mentioning this decision-making process. It reflects so well the personality of the player. I have so many friends for whom it is so difficult just to make a decision. So they spend their life in a perpetual time trouble, you know, because they, well, like Alexander Grishuk, for example, but I have a lot of players, women players who have the same style. They only make a decision when they're forced or they think that they found like an absolute truth or it's the best move in the position, but you have this time frame. And sometimes you have to make a decision, even if you have the spectrum, you know, which offers you so many possibilities. And here it illustrates it very well. I think Lei is very determined, you know, it's in her character.
This actually I like, because sometimes you cannot think forever. So 2 moves, of course, you can do this one and that one. Somehow you need to cut it and say, okay, I will stick to that one. What happens, happens. This is this quality, because later you might need this time for a tougher decision. So,
well, I feel that Anna is a little bit more hesitant. We've seen it in her first match, and so maybe that's a clash of styles and fighters, you know. So bishop f8 was played. What can we do? Because if we play rook b2, doesn't bring us anything. Black will play b4, or we get this square on c4, knight d2. Let's try.
Rook b2 is an option you mentioned, but rook a8 is also important. So I have 2 options.
But I cannot take on b5.
Yeah, I can, but then I'm allowing you to play d5, which is something I wouldn't do. Maybe this is not bad, but okay, this is a different approach, the one I would stay away from. Maybe this is okay, but you want to say something? Or?
No, it's not even that, because I see an idea that I see that I blunder, but then, no, it's with rook 8, but then I continue the variation, then I see that I can take on d4 with the knight, so let's say...
So you were discussing this, right?
Yes, this. And then knight d4, okay, so I'm not losing at the end. That was the variation. That's why I was discussing it with myself. You know?
And the conclusion is?
The conclusion is like I'm probably a little bit better here.
Okay, nice for you and for you. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, b4 is the move you want to make, I think.
But here knight d2.
Okay, you can do. Of course, but then on d4 you are...
knight d4, of course. Yes. Okay, this I missed. So I have to be careful. But then what does it bring us? We gave up the c file, we can still go back, but...
Okay, I got this c4 square, which might be of importance or not. Not easy to say.
Maybe this is just sort of a statu quo, you know, this like...
Yes, you go to a5, and then I go to d2. Do you go back, and then I go to b3, maybe? Not easy to say.
No, maybe not rook b2, I don't like it. So you clearly improved with b4.
b4 is something black would do anyway.
But what else can we do? We cannot play knight d2. King d3, you have knight b4.
Listen, professional perpetual player would immediately find this mutual understanding and agreement would be rook d2, you move knight to a5, I play rook c2, you go back and so on. So,
but why rook d2, knight a5, rook c2, I cannot play knight c4?
Okay, b7 is hanging.
Yes.
Okay. So professional perpetual players would find it. So, but I've seen that our ladies are not that type. So
let's show it. Yes.
So I'm speaking about some. I don't know. I move my rook somewhere. You jump. I go back. So what do you do?
I cannot allow you to play rook c8.
Yes. Rook c7. So if you go knight c4, then you're dropping this pawn. So what to do? You come back. And then I don't see anything smarter, because here I'm threatening d5. I want to push it. But I don't think I can do it this way, because now I'm losing the bishop, and opening the position without the bishop is not of any sense. So this is the way how.
But can I try something else then? Let's try rook d2, knight a5, you said, and knight a5, rook c2. Yes?
Okay, sorry.
Can I play bishop c6? How did we got there? You only play...
rook c2 now, you go back.
No, but I want to play on with black, bishop c6.
Okay, you can. Knight d2. You take on e4. I take. You jump to c4.
You know, I also want to play on.
So you are also the lady with.
But I'm not sure if this exchange is in my favor. Yes.
h5. I'm not sure now. g5. You can do, but is this something you wanted to do?
No, you have
g3, f4. Maybe I can start attacking. Okay, g4 you will play, but then you're hanging. Tricky.
You have a4 at some point, so I will be forced to play rook a8 probably. I'm not sure.
But
Yes.
I'm
And
moving
f4.
on. I'm moving on. G4 is dropping a pawn because of tactics, and then this one is falling.
No,
so
no. This was.
if you take, this is a super brave decision. Rook d2. Okay, so you want to play on, but maybe. So she made the move I mentioned, professional, perpetual move.
Maybe given her time, this is a very wise decision, of course.
Yeah.
This definitely should be taken into account. That this is a more pragmatic decision.
But okay, she has showed a class in the first match and in the first game. But for example, this game, because in first game I cannot say that she went somewhere wrong. Okay, knight d5 was an option she should have done. In her comment, Tenji was saying that with pawn down it's even draw, but probably she miscalculated because Andrea asked her, but it's the same position without the g pawn, so she should have tried this. But from this game she can learn a lot. To know how to squeeze, not to squeeze, but how to get a game in this type of position. She was slightly better, but not creating much, and actually she was prepared here. It's a difference because Anna in the first game she was a bit surprised and she wanted to make some line off her main repertoire, but here Tenji was prepared and not getting much. So this is the part of the game where she can improve how to build the advantage.
This is very interesting because Anna's sister faced Lei Tingji in the quarterfinals, and she was opting for the Slav. You know, this is tremendous change of strategy, first of all, and so they made this preparation probably during the tournament. They had to eliminate so many openings, and they decided to go for their main opening, main weapon, and it worked.
Yes, I agree.
So here you suggest, because d5 of course is a positional threat, yes?
Probably black should fight against it. Why to allow d5?
Let's say we
rook a8 or what?
We allow it, yes.
Okay, let's say rook a8, I push.
d5.
But this is completely unnecessary risk.
Okay.
Now knight b4 is useless, I go to b3. So you can play something like king g, but who would voluntarily come to this position? Suddenly this bishop is having a triple role. No, it's not something you want
you
to
should allow of course.
Okay, it's possible, of course. Depends of the style. There are some players who have their own have their own way of understanding the positions, but I would stay away from this position.
You can still play knight. Okay, I wanted to illustrate the dangers.
Knight
let's say
a5.
Knight a5.
It's possible. Maybe still it's
but
okay.
What happens after e6?
I don't know. Let's
try it on the board because we still have some time.
Yes.
So we should illustrate the danger of this position.
This looks horrible to me, but maybe it's nothing.
Okay, you shouldn't take, of course.
Or maybe you should and then move the king, but this is...
you take on e6. Let's say f takes e6.
Bishop takes, and then you move the king, let's say, like this. But...
I agree with you, you know.
I don't know. You don't want to do it.
But how can we continue? Okay, rook d7, you know, this d7 square is protected.
Okay,
so we cannot...
maybe h5.
h5.
Heading for a tactical, because I don't need this pawn even if you take.
But if you take, then
okay, then maybe somehow with knight h4 or knight e5, creating some threats. How you play?
I have to play bishop g7 because you threaten bishop b5 and bishop d4, of course.
Yeah, maybe this is nothing, just illusion, but to allow all those checks, okay, maybe it's nothing. Yeah, maybe nothing. Bishop f5, you move the king. You're right, Almira, yeah, it's okay.
But I understand that one move, which is, well, how everything can go wrong, because if you make a mistake, you're completely lost in this position.
I would opted for this option if black needs to take some huge risk, but I see that here white can maybe liquidate him somehow. I don't see that white is risking a lot. So to give an option where he can or she can settle for a equal position, because for example, knight a5, let's say that I don't play e6. Let's say that I don't know, play some random move. Let's say like this. You go knight c4, okay. I don't know if I can take on b7 now or not. Maybe I cannot. Okay, maybe this.
Rook b7.
I wanted to
b7,
this, but maybe you take here.
But the king takes?
Ah, this is no. This
no,
is
no. You shouldn't take.
You take here, and then I take on b7, right?
Yes.
So what is the risk? Which risk we are talking about? Also, it should be like an equal. I don't know.
Well, Anna is not a player who will lose her objectivity. She will not say that, okay, 18 minutes left for late Ingi, should I gamble? This is not the moment, not the position, nor the position. So I think that she understands this position very well, so she will not lose her objectivity and she will make probably the best move.
If she goes for a draw, okay, tomorrow they know that Sicilian might be an option, but maybe Tingy won't play it because Sicilian won't be a surprise as the first round. They need to work a bit more than before, and she will try as white. She will push hard as white in the next game.
But it will certainly give a headache to Anna's seconds, because the range of the openings now is much wider. So she played the Sicilian, but she didn't play this time Anna very often. She would normally go for, I think, for knight or for rouser. So it means that she can play any opening she wants.
Yes, but this is also psychological. Somehow, during those matches, there were famous books about seconds and energy of their investing in the preparation. But at some stage, you need to decide that you are playing the game. Go for it. What will happen, happen. Play open Sicilian. Of course, she can surprise you. Make maybe some move which is not the main move, but head for something more sharp. So you cannot just kill with preparation to avoid everything and to be afraid of everything. So next round, I think she needs to play like an open Sicilian and then
to trust herself.
Yes, trust herself. Play some position. Cannot black with surprise immediately become better or kill the 100 years of systems developed. So play some open Sicilian, because she took a direction with this g3 which is narrowing, much more narrowing the game. When you play open Sicilian, in the open Sicilian you can head for an English attack, you can play some h3, but still keeping a venom, because the way she did it was more positional. So I would suggest, if Sicilian goes, we check some lines, you prepare a bit to check through your main lines, and what to do, play the game. So she's thinking.
But the question that we had in the quarterfinals, that Anna and Maria both were facing, that was a theoretical battle in the Petrov defense. And Maria didn't play the same variation as Anna did against Hampiconero.
Okay.
So because both of them could play d4 in the third move and go for this structure which is completely different. Somehow, you know, this didn't happen. So I'm really very curious to know what was there, what was in store.
Yeah, I cannot say really. I can just maybe try to guess.
And why late Tingy is suddenly avoiding it right now?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to say.
And well, and I was still thinking, is she going for knight e5 here?
Frankly speaking, I was never on that level. Actually, I was second to one player for Vaikanze, and it was for me like a great experience that I need to prepare something against Magnus, or need to prepare something against Vichy with black, which was not okay. Not maybe it was not just that way, or to find the advantage in Greenfield against Giri, which was at that time very challenging. You are trying to get some idea. Of course, you cannot prepare everything, and it's a lot of actually it's in a player's hand. You can maybe dig for some, but these days people have this sense of danger well developed to avoid some heavily, massively analyzed lines. You can maybe, I don't know, play some novelty in the tournament, in a regular tournament, but during those matches people are quite careful. So as I said, I wouldn't overestimate the role of preparation. These days everyone is using clouds, everyone is using computers. No big blunders, you need to play. But this actually position yesterday and today was position where you can outplay. These are the position where Magnus was superb. Yeah. It looks equal, but chances. Pieces on the board.
Actually, what I wanted to pick up, one thing that you said, that, you know, no blunders. Actually, this is what defines the elite players, the strong players, and that's the difference, because the margin of the mistake is very narrow. When you analyze those games, it doesn't reflect the first line of the computer very, like maybe now quite often, especially in the opening stage, but later if you analyze their games from the human perspective, and I think that, well, professionals know now about how to quantify it. You quantify it in the like Santipon loss, you know, so you evaluate the play of the super grandmasters, and you can see how often do they make mistakes and how big these mistakes are. And those players, they make their mistakes, you know, are quite subtle.
Yeah, this is what has improved in the chess history. Before, people, when you check some our heroes' games, like Tal and some other champions, you see that the level of defense has increased these days. So as you said, people are not mistaken. People still make blunders. You can check recent games, for example, like US Championship, where Morad Abiadi, he just made a blunder in 10 moves. Yeah. In Petrov, it happens. I lost in like a kid in some games, so it's quite possible. But still, when they are focused, when they are on the level, yes, as you said, people are not blundering so easily. But people are actually not correctly assessing the style of some players. They said he's like aggressive players. I was a player. These days, I would say that there are players on top. Every player is good in calculation. So all the top players, they calculate very well. But they say he's aggressive players. The aggressive player is not the one who is executing a great combination. These days, everyone, as I said, can do it. But how to, at the right moment, to provoke the tension on the board, some situation, you play h4 at the right move, like Rapport is doing, like Dubov is doing, like Mamedyarov was doing. It looks like a semi-innocent game, and suddenly some h4, g4, and when you're playing against type of player, you see that he has this creativity to create tactics. And this is what I would define an aggressive player, not the one who can execute a combination. Here also in this event, there are some players who can be a little bit more creative when it looks that there are no motives in the position, and then suddenly your opponent cracks under the pressure. This is the thing. You need to put problems in front of your opponent.
So maybe this creativity is, if in other words, is a well-calculated risk?
Exactly. How to put problems. Magnus is sometimes putting different way. He's putting positional problems, making them unstable because everything looks the same and they want to liquidate, but if by liquidating they are maybe sometimes ruining the position. Mamedyarov is immediately aggressively attacking Dubov with theory, but everyone has his own style. But placing problems in front of your opponent in this position, you cannot outplay Vichy from, let's say, a few moves ago, no way. Or I don't know, Magnus. If Magnus is black, all those engines players, he will find a way how to liquidate. But if you make him uncertain in some position with maybe some combination of preparation plus something, then it's of course possible that even he makes mistakes.
And while we were talking, we have a clear demonstration of our theory. Those players are so strong, so they do not make mistakes easily. So Anna decided, and I think it's justified not to go for rook a d5. She makes the best move here.
Still, she can make, I think, once, because, okay, if we are in this position, so first time, she does this, rook c2, let's say that.
Knight c6.
Second time, and now maybe she can move on. So still she wants to check what is the ambition of her opponent. So still not defined yet.
White, am I forced to repeat here?
You're not, but white actually, rook d2 was the move probably played with the idea that to force things. 14 minutes against 26, 15, 16 moves to go, not the right moment to press with some unreasonable player. Yeah.
We don't even know where things, okay, they went wrong is not maybe the right expression, but where she was not precise as white.
Yeah, now I was also thinking, because everything sounded reasonable. Rook came to, we can check just briefly. So we were at this.
Maybe after rook d5, rook c2 she
So
played.
let's say like this, in this position, okay, this was normal, h4 was like a normal move, rook c4, this was everything played, rook b6, you cannot say that this was wrong. So here was a moment, she made this e5. You mentioned that this is giving more options, which is probably the case, but if e5 was not played, then rook d7 would be a move.
But let's try e5.
But come on,
rook d5.
if after e5, black was playing rook d5, will he do it anyway after e5? Probably, if I do it later, no. Okay, this.
Here.
Yes, here maybe this rook c2, I was praising it, but now in hindsight, maybe it was not the best.
But what else can we do here? Because rook c2, of course, protects the a2 pawn. Black's idea is to play rook a5.
Yeah, I don't see any huge difference here.
And if you play bishop b4 here, you still have this option of playing rook b5 and taking on b5 with tempo.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Now I need a smart move. Rook c2 is played up, I see.
Can we play
okay,
a4?
now she was moving the rook. Is there any difference if I move it somewhere else? Let's say here, you go rook d8, okay?
The rook on c3 protects the bishop on d3,
yes.
of course. So
maybe this is not
now
working.
you can take.
Maybe this was the situation where this rook c2 was maybe too cautious. I was praising it, but now maybe rook c3.
No, but now will play rook
a5. Okay, you play rook a5.
So if you play rook c3, maybe you can start with a3 here.
Yes, I would love to do it. Bishop f8.
Bishop f8.
But then h6 is hanging. This is something you can do.
Wait,
I take on b7, and if you go bishop f8, I take on b7, and then if you take on a3, I take on h6.
h6 is okay.
Yes, this one is hanging. So if you take this one, I take that one. Here the game goes.
So
Yeah.
maybe rook c3 was more precise.
And actually this a3 is useful against b4. Then later if you even manage to play b5, then I can stop, at least I can stop b4. Okay, it can be a headache also as a weakness. Hard to say.
It's very interesting. Okay, maybe not rook a5 then, but what else? After rook d5, if you don't play rook a5, which is your original idea, I'm not sure that you can continue with rook d8 because you will take on b7.
Yes. Now you need to protect b7, probably rook b8. Okay, like a short stop, at least to get some time.
Okay, but if I play bishop e4 here?
Bishop e4, now you're rook b5. Now we are in that position. Okay, it's a bit different. I can't say how much, but it's a bit different. At least when you take my a3 pawn, it's not with the check. So I might have some time. For example, I can play maybe rook c5, your motive. And now rook a8, I take on b5. There is no rook a2 check. So you need to cover b7. So
yes, and just in case the king is on d2, you never have checks.
Ah, yes.
You have never have bishop b5, never have knight d4.
Yes.
So I actually like this rook c3 very much.
Listen, as I told you, I'm not a caliber that I can by subtle play immediately find this in the game. Probably I will go maybe the same. But some strong players, they could have this imagination to see when is the right moment. Usually they say the better player are you, the better you are using your rooks. Yeah, because it's tricky because rooks sometimes open files. You can place it on similar places and then spots.
And also lateral, not always easy.
Exactly. So here this is like an important moment. Rook c3 for analysis, also for useful. If I would be a coach of some young prominent player, I would put him this position. Come on, dig. Can you see the difference and so on?
Well, yes, now we understand because everything seemed so logical and somehow black doesn't have any problem.
Yes, here we are close to this repetition. So after knight c6,
she played
rook c2. Yes, course. After knight c6, the game is heading to the scenario of perpetual.
So in a parallel universe, is she playing something else?
Yes, but listen, you mentioned this tennis, and we can ask Ivan if he comes to the next rounds. This is something, when I was playing chess, you are feeling this duel, that you are fighting against a person who is doing everything he can to win against you or to perform better, and so on. But when you play tennis, it's similar.
Of course.
The best shots are coming over the net. So sometimes for me it reminds me from mistake, for some lost games, chances not exploited and so on. So it's a bit different. I see this duel. I see how they are investing energy trying to see what can they do, maybe to trick a bit opponent. So I can feel even if it's over the screen, even it's not physically you are there in the playing hall, you feel that they are really trying to perform better than opponent.
I'm looking forward to this interview because I think one of the best testimonies that I ever read, written by a tennis player, it was the book Open, written by Andrea Gassi, and he.
We are having, I think, perpetual.
The perpetual, of course. So,
yeah.
And he's talking about this, the solitude, the tension, the pressure, which is similar to chess, of course. So I related to it very much. So the game is going to be drawn.
Yes. It's over. Yeah, arbiter will come now. She's just Tingy is checking the formula score sheet. Yeah,
our computer
already. Yes, it's a draw. Okay, that's basically it. Now arbiter Stefan and maybe Alexandra, Dimitri, they will come to claim a draw. Yes, Alexandra is there. Dimitrievich, deputy arbiter. Skaffer is a
Chief
arbiter, right? Claiming a draw. For me, this is, as I said, this is a game which worth studying how to exploit the chances in this type of small advantage.
Okay, so the second game of this match is drawn. So a very tense match, 2 games left. Anna is going to have white pieces tomorrow, and I think that we will have the same interview today. Probably they will invite Anna Mozichuk, I don't know, and it's such an unusual thing, you know, the players are discussing
during
the game
match,
during the match.
Yes. since it's
actually it's
this
such a nice.
But yeah,
nice
I met them in hotel, and they are really the personality and the way how they behave is really great. So.
It's like really old times, you know. You know that Viktor Kuchnoi would sit there for hours after the game is finished, and like you would want to leave, but he said, no, okay, just one last ride. And you're telling me like, Viktor Vojic, dinner, you know, something.
Yeah, this is nice actually. Okay, actually, this was Carson was doing this with Nepo as well in the Dubai, so this is like a really great manner.
Okay, so you have this score in front of you. Maybe we can quickly remind you of the tiebreaks. Okay, the match is very balanced. So it's a very possible situation that the tiebreak will occur. So let's have a look at the tiebreaks.
So it's important that we say that tomorrow
it's a
tomorrow
free day,
is a free day. So the next round is day after tomorrow, but the tie breaks, we have 4 games with time control, so 50 minutes plus 10 seconds, so it's 4 games, not 2, so enough games to create something. Then 2 games, 5 minutes plus 3 seconds, sort of blitz game, and then 1 game, 3 plus 2 increment per move, which repeats until the first game won by one of the players. So no Armageddon once again, but of course if this happens, 3 plus 2, we will see so many adventures on the board. So it's like an Armageddon. Yep.
So they're setting up, I think, the live monitor because it's another technical opportunity that we have. So the players can analyze directly on the touch screen and share their thoughts immediately, and it gives us also an incredible opportunity to know like how much do they see during the game and what were their thoughts.
Yes, okay, the players are still a little bit in the game, even if it's just finished, they're still having emotional probably, so sometimes it's not easy. When I was playing games immediately when the game was finished, I couldn't find a new energy to express myself in terms of variation, moves, and so on. So I was still missing. What was the move? What did I play? So I was not so focused. So yeah, because you're still in the process how the game ended. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not sure that it's not that you are not focused. It's just that you're so when you're playing a game of chess. If I can compare the state of absolute concentration, it's a trance, it's a state of trance. So you're not really sure that you left this state and you accepted that the world exists, you know, you're still there and you have to talk again.
And then you realize how tired are you only after the game was finished, and suddenly you realize that you are hungry, tired, whatever, because during the game this adrenaline just keeps you going, yeah. So this is typical. You're completely right. So sometimes it's not easy to watch those press conferences because I see some players are not still in the right shape for that.
But chess players, you know, I was thinking how to explain it to kids very often, and I was like, you spend all your life in the world of ideas, you know, sometimes it's not very easy to grasp how detached you might be, so some concrete things, they don't even matter, you know, it's like, okay, it's like, where's the playing hole, who I am?
Exactly.
And I think that Anna Mozichuk and Andrea Navratescu are ready. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget that tomorrow is the free day, and we we are looking forward to commentate the third game of the match very soon.
Yeah, see you next round.
I'm here with Anna Muzichuk after her draw in the second game of the semifinals against Late Ingji. So you had black pieces today, Anna. You decided to go for the Grunfeld defense for the first time. Is there any particular reason for this change?
I think there must be some.
Now, what kind of position did you aim for? Maybe you aimed for dynamic, unbalanced positions, or what was your strategy before the game at this opening?
Okay, it's difficult, to build a strategy because, well, normally white is choosing like which position they are going to get, more complicated or less complicated. And I don't know, this line was bishop 3. I don't remember any games of Late Ingji in this variation. So I was just trying to remember how it goes, and I'm not sure whether I managed it or not. So,
so I think until this point it's very
okay.
known
This
waters.
is this is well known, and yeah.
Also,
okay.
even this
is known.
This is the main move.
H4.
Yeah, and maybe H4 was I mean, after I checked the games in the database, maybe this H4 was not played that often. What do you think about this H4? I mean, I know it's a usual move, but like, were you worried that at some point you might get a bit, you might lack of space maybe in your position?
Well, right here I was not worried yet because I knew it's still a theory, and there are some transpositions like after h6 and after rook d8, e5. But after rook d8, rook c4, I started to spend time because I wasn't sure what I should do, if I should play like h6 and allow this rook coming to b6, or whether I should just go for bishop d7 immediately, but then I allow h5. So I don't know if it was correct or not, but I decided to play h6. Because yeah, sometimes when this h5, then exchange of the pawns and e5, and black may have some problems with the dark squares. So I don't know. I played h6, so that if white plays h5, I have g5, and now she played rook b1.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask you about this move a5. This is kind of a critical moment, probably. What did you think of this move? I mean, it's certainly normal, but maybe, I don't know, it was there were other moments to do it. What did you think about this?
It's a very typical move for these positions. I don't know if it's the best in this position, but usually, yeah, if white manages, to put the bishop on e4, play king e2, then I don't have space. I have to be careful, and because of my weak pawn on b7. So that's why I started to try to create some counterplay with rook d5.
Yeah, and then at this point, when you manage to exchange a pair of rooks, probably you don't have any problems, right?
Yes, white doesn't have any problems.
No, you as black, I mean.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, okay, and then after it was a move repetition at this point, but.
Yeah.
Oops, what did I do?
I don't know how we can go back.
Sorry. Yes. Damn. Sorry. Excuse me. So yes, you decided. I mean, she decided to go for a move repetition, but probably the position was just equal, so nothing much to do. Okay, so this has been the second game. Tomorrow is the rest day, and after you play again with white. Are you in the fighting mood? are you expecting to? I mean, what will be your strategy for the third game with white?
With white, you normally try to get some advantage, but in our first game, which was yesterday, actually it feels like it was already quite long ago. I wasn't so successful with that, but we will see.
Okay, thank you very much, Anna.